Countdown to kick off, and away we go. It is Luis Suarez who gets this crucial Group H match here underway at the Al Janoub Stadium here in Al Wakra. Ghana in their all-white outfits, white shirts, white shorts and white socks, whilst Uruguay in their light blue shirts, black shorts and black socks as well. So let me take you through the two teams, starting with the Ghana side. Ati Zigi in goal. It will be a back four. Alidou Seydou, Daniel Amati, Salisu and Baba Rahman make up that defensive line for Ghana. Partey and Abdul Samed, the two in midfield. Then Kudus, Ayew and Jordan Ayew, the two brothers alongside, and just in front, Iñaki Williams. So not too many changes to be made for that Ghana side that beat South Korea, but there's already a player down for Uruguay. It's Jimenez who had the challenge coming in from Jordan Ayew, and then he had to try to go for it. It was actually didn't look too much, it looked like he got the ball, but it just was the follow-up wasn't really, I think it was Kudus actually that came in. Just took it onto his shin. Yeah, caught him on the side of his shin. However, it flicked him just past the shin pad. It's hit his shin pad. The rolling about there is absolutely ridiculous. So no, I'm not giving that. That's a foul, nothing more. The rolling about is actually just nothing short of an embarrassment. As for the Uruguay squad then, Rochette starts in goal again for the third game in these group stages. Back four this time. Varela, Jimenez, Coates and Oliveira make up that defensive line for Uruguay. Then it's Pelistri, Valverde, Bentancur and Deres Gaeta. Just in behind Luis Suarez and Darwin Nunez for Uruguay, who have got the ball looking to start the attack early on against this Ghana side. They've got it to the right-hand side at the back, but they are... What do you think the game plan will be for Uruguay today? Because they know they have to win, so they'll try and go out with it quickly as Facundo Pelistri tries to come in on that right side, getting inside to the box, but it was well defended in the end by Salisu, who came in to make the challenge. But the system you set up often gives away how you're going to play it. If you go and play with two wingers, and they are kind of like wide wingers that they're playing out there, you expect that you're going to get the ball wide and put it into two strikers who are both natural goal scorers. Sometimes it's not a lot more complicated than that. Bentancur is actually pushed really far forward in that midfield. So, you know, it's set up almost as a 4-2-4, but Bentancur is going a little bit further forward as well. So it is ultra positive from the Uruguayans at the start. Lovely bit of skill by Alidou Seydou to try and send that ball forward on that right side for Ghana. They are going left to right from where we are sat, just into the halfway line where we are. We've got a great view. Actually was pretty disappointed, Pat, because normally ahead of kickoff, I don't know if this is an Al Janoub Stadium thing, but we have the massive World Cup trophy in the centre circle with all the pyrotechnics and the lights and everything. Didn't get that. Yeah, it's been at every single game just about so far, and you know, I've been to this stadium a couple of times. I think it was there before. Vaguely remember it was there before. Somebody must have burst the World Cup. Partey, who was caught in possession inside the Uruguayan half, and now Uruguay can come forward. Bentancur playing it onto Nunez, who goes down inside the area. Referee Daniel Siebert quickly to wave that away, and you can see the facial expression from Darwin Nunez. There wasn't too much into it, really. Yeah, possibly, you know, a little bit of action on his shirt at the back, shall we say there. Didn't get a very good reaction from the Ghana fans behind, did they? They had a very big boo there. I actually think they thought that was Suarez. When then he finally got up, they realised it wasn't him. They're waiting for an excuse to boo Suarez. Well, it is Darwin Nunez who's playing on that left side and Luis Suarez on the right. We can definitely tell who Luis Suarez is from up here. We are quite high in our commentary position, but he's wearing these bright orange-red boots, which will make it really obvious to pick him out. He's not hiding, is he? He's definitely not hiding out there. No, I think there's a bit of him that loves being in the spotlight, and the fact that he stood up and gave a good argument, you know, from his position, how he felt about what happened all those years ago, actually sticks in the throat slightly, but I admire him. I greatly admire him for doing that. Well done. A 0-0. Almost 5 minutes gone into this game. Neither side really being able to put any pressure on each other. Uruguay just comfortable in possession at the moment, Playing it out from the back, Jimenez with the ball now on that right side, looking to place it across to Oliveira. That is one of the things that was a real standout performance from Jimenez, his crosses and to find those players on those wings. He's got an absolutely accurate pass, an eye for a pass too. A ball coming through to find Oliveira, but it was taken away by Alidou Seydou, who got in there to make sure it wasn't coming forward. Uruguay with the quick throw, and Suarez trying to wrestle his way through to get into the penalty area. You can hear the boos when he does get on the ball, because those Ghana fans are right behind the goal, which Uruguay are attacking.
Yep, it's actually been a very good start for Uruguay, hasn't it? They've had most of the ball, most of the play, and if you do stand that way, you know, in a positive attitude with 4-2-4, then you deserve a good start.
Well, elsewhere in Group H then, Portugal against South Korea, and there has been a goal, Aaron Paul.
South Korea 0, Portugal 1. Worst possible start for the South Koreans, because Ricardo Horta has plied the ball into the back of the net. It was pulled back from the byline, and there was Horta just to place across the goalkeeper. Of course, South Korea desperately in need of the win. That's all they really need today, is a win. But they're currently a goal down here to Portugal. South Korea 0, Portugal 1.
Well, that does put South Korea bottom of the group. It's better news for Uruguay, that goal, but of course they will be making sure that they can try and get the win. They have to win, Uruguay, here tonight if they want any chance of progressing through to the knockout stages. Same goes for Ghana. They know that if they win, they will absolutely progress into the last 16, regardless of what happens. As a player, Pat, do you look at permutations before you go into a game like this, or do you just have to focus on the football?
Well, you and I were having a chat all the way here about it, and I was saying, like, the simplification of it all. It's brilliant for Uruguay. You just have to go and win. Forget about anything else. Don't worry about anything else. Now, if complicated things happen at the end of the game and you get information coming on, that's fine, you have to try and take it on board. But if you've got that simplicity there and there's nothing you can do, that is a great relief.
Well, free kick for Ghana was taken quickly by Jordan Ayew, who sent it to the right-hand side to find Partey. Couldn't really make the most of it, and then the referee's whistle has blown. Think it was for an offside position, and I do like that they do this in the stadium, actually, Pat, because every time something happens in Group H, they put up the table on those big screens. It happened in that Australia match against Denmark, because at one point Australia were going out. Yep. They looked at it on the big board. Literally a minute later, Australia scored.
I know. I mean, there have been those great moments, and of course Spain were out for a period of time as well last night. So it does help everyone, because not everyone's got A, calculator, B, abacus, C, fabulous mathematical mind that they can call on all the time. So it's good to see it in the big screens here at the stadium.
Ghana with a throw into the Uruguayan half, looking for Partey, who's weaving his way into midfield, but it was well taken away by Suarez. Now an opportunity for Varela to charge forward here for Uruguay, down that right-hand side, looking to pick out Facundo Pellistri. Does really well, but in the end he cuts it back into the penalty area, but there was no Uruguayan players ready to get on the end of it. Darwin Nunez was far too wide onto that left-hand side. There was no way he was getting there. It was easily enough dealt with by Ghana.
Ghana started in a very calm way, and I understand why you would do that, but you might have to get out of that quite soon, because the kind of every tackle that's coming in from the Uruguayans is a biting tackle. They're trying to get up the field. They're all going about 100 miles an hour, you know, very much so. Pellistri there almost getting in. So you're looking at Ghana saying, I wouldn't sit out there waiting, hoping to get a point, you know, because the way that the Uruguayans have started, okay, they've not scored a goal in this tournament, but they've started in the post with very much in the front foot here.
Well, the ball is with the Ghana goalkeeper, Ati Zigi, as they look to play it out from the back, Ghana, and weave their way forward. Abdul Samed has hold of the ball, but he's being put under quite a bit of pressure, and now an opportunity for Uruguay to come forward, which is cut short quickly. It was Valverde who thought he had got away with it, but the challenge came in onto Abdul Samed, and the referee spotted it. Will be a free kick to Ghana.
I'm trying to say, I thought I got a wee bit lucky there. He's getting closed down. Like, it's exactly what I was saying. Actually, we've seen it again. It was a foul, but it's exactly what I was saying. They have been closed down all the time. There's kind of lackadaisical start from the Ghanaians, and you know, they, as we speak just now, they're through, right? Okay, so they don't have to panic. But you know, if you go and get a goal up, you can kind of play in that more relaxed way. At the moment, they are well, they've been pushed back a little bit.
A reminder: Uruguay still the only team yet to score here in the World Cup in Qatar. On the left-hand side now, looking for Darwin Nunez, who was striding forward, was trying to get there as quick as he possibly could. He is a fast player, Darwin Nunez, but not that quick. And the ball will be going out for a throw-in to Ghana inside their own half, about halfway into the Ghana half. And we can see the manager for Ghana, Otto Addo, who's been on that touchline trying to get some messages across to his players, because as you said, Pat, they are coming under a little bit of pressure and they look like they could get caught out in possession at the back.
It's just that kind of slightly lax attitude that they seem to have at the moment, and that's not the way they play. That's not when they're at their best. But it's the psychology we were talking about before. They're thinking, a possible draw is enough. Do they need to really go for it? And maybe another part of it is, look, you're going to get a lot of pressure early on. We know the Uruguayans are going to be up for it. Are they lively enough? Are they strong enough? Are they young enough to keep it going for a whole 90 minutes? Or do the Ghanaians think, it's okay, they'll run themselves out and we'll take over? We shall see.
0-0 here against Ghana and Uruguay, this crucial Group H match. We've played just over 11 minutes in this game. Neither side, though, really able to really challenge either goalkeeper at the moment. It's a throw-in for Uruguay inside their own half. On the far side, as they look to place it into Darwin Nunez, who is being put under quite a bit of pressure by Salisu, and Ghana able to come forward. Salisu with that ball, trying to find Mohamed Kudus, and they've done this well actually into the Uruguayan half, halfway inside, but then it was taken away by Bentancur for Uruguay, who gets it inside the centre circle, plays it out to that left-hand side to Oliveira, who's looking for options. Back in field he goes to that right side. Valverde plays it across. Facundo Pelistri looking for the option, but it's not the right one, because Suarez was being surrounded there by Abdul Samid, who was able to just nick that ball away. Facundo Pelistri, still such a young player, Pat, but he's made a couple of mistakes already. The passes just haven't been quite accurate enough.
And you can accept that you're a young player, that'll happen now and again, but he has to calm down a little bit. He's already showed that his pace is absolutely fantastic, and if he can get one really good run in, maybe that'll help him.
That's Keita down that right side, looking to swing in across, but it was well grasped by the Ghana goalkeeper, Lawrence Ati-Zigi, who actually is made the number one goalkeeper, Ati-Zigi, after a couple of injuries to their number one keeper. So they haven't got their most experienced goalkeepers in this World Cup squad. But he's been doing all right, although they have conceded quite a few goals, Ghana, but they have also been making them, which is what makes them so entertaining.
Yes, just a moment for Nunez.
Nunez could be in here, cuts it through, tries to get on to the end of it, but it was well defended in the end by Amati, I think, who came all the way through to steal that ball away. He was coming right onto that penalty area, couldn't get his shot away.
There's just that slackness that we were talking about before. They're losing the ball. I mean, the turnovers, they give you a lot of stats in the stadiums, but the turnovers quite clearly, by the moment, the Uruguayans are doing it very well. They're snapping at the heels all the time. I'm having a look at Darwin Nunez. He's shouting the ball. No, actually, Suarez is shouting at Nunez, saying, can you give the ball to me, maybe? Instead of completely and utterly taking it yourself. Well, I'll tell you what, Suarez, I'm not agreeing with you there. You're about 40 yards away from it, mate.
Well, the Uruguayan bench are absolutely furious, because it's taken a little bit long to take this throw-in for Ghana. Eventually is taken by Alidou Seydou halfway inside the Uruguayan half. Seydou tries to turn and decides to go back over to Samed, finding Amati in defence. They're starting to get a little bit more comfortable into this game now, Ghana, in their all-white strip, but they definitely are bringing the party to this World Cup. I mean, some of the scenes that we've been seeing before this game got underway, the party atmosphere, and just as I say that, they've actually just shown us some shots of the Ghana fans. I think they are very, very nervous. I was watching some videos, someone had asked them, what would you give to win this game? Some of them said a month's salary. Some of them even said happiness. They would give up happiness.
I think they're quite excited about it. They'd love to get through, and understandably so. I mean, the team have been a joy to watch generally. Their attitude has been superb for the vast majority of the time as well. But I just keep on saying it's quite calm out there. They're not getting overexcited, and that's a good thing in a way. I mean, historically, some teams, particularly African teams, but other teams as well, have panicked at the last hurdle. They don't want to do that. They just want to go and try and play their own game. And that's a good turn in midfield.
Well, an opportunity for Ghana to try and weave their way forward. And they do so as well. Into infield. Cuts it to the left-hand side into the penalty area. Looks to take the shot away. And it was a decent one too, but it was well saved. Not quite grasped though by Rochette. And on the follow-up, Mohamed Kudus couldn't make the most of it and sees it goes wide.
Kudus has been great in that movement there. He's the one that's looked liveliest up front. He played the ball brilliantly, got the space, and then he switched the ball over to the left-hand side, and then he pinned his ears back and got into the dangerous position. And when the ball's come out there, I mean, the referee's given, I'll tell you what, he's given offside there, and I'm not convinced by that. I'm absolutely not convinced that. Had that ended up in goal, that would have went to VAR, and it would have stood. Not hugely impressed with Rocher in goal there. I think that was one he should have caught. He didn't catch it. He ended up get benefit from what was an offside. I don't think that would have stuck with VAR.
Well, it was Jordan Ayew who came in onto the edge of the penalty area, took the shot, and it was spilled by Rochette.
They're waiting for it, because as I say, I think that should have played on there. And did the goalkeeper get the ball first, or was it a possible penalty kick? Because they were in an argument with the Ghanaians that they thought he got to the ball first and he was taken out. I have to say, from where we are, it was very, very difficult to see. It's a long way off. Referees never think about it. He's waiting to be told. Well, they obviously couldn't see either.
They're checking for a possible offside leading up to the penalty situation. So a possible penalty could be given here to Ghana.
See, I don't know if it was offside. I would have said it wasn't, but we'll see. I'm only going naked eye here. I didn't think it was offside, even though the referee gave it.
Well, we're still waiting to see some of the replays. We had one, which doesn't give us that stop-start where you can really have a good look at it. Rochette, the Uruguayan goalkeeper, is questioning why this is taking so long. So Daniel Siebert, the referee, has been told to go over to the monitor to have a look at this to see whether this should be given as a penalty. They're checking for a possible penalty, a potential foul.
Well, the offside's the first thing to look at here, and he flicked the ball over. Now, this is what I hate. The referees are only given one angle sometimes, and it's the most unfair angle sometimes. Do you know what? He's clipped the ball over, keeper's not got to it, and he's taken the player's feet. However, there is no way in the world Kudus was getting on the end of that.
So it's Mohamed Kudus who's coming in trying to get on the rebound, because Rochette spilled the initial effort from Jordan Ayew. As he was trying to come back and claim the ball that he spilled, Kudus was coming in too. Both players collided with each other. It looked like he was taken out, but the referee's walking away. Let's see what the decision is. The Uruguayan players are surrounding him, and it will be a penalty. This is a big moment for Ghana. The fans are already waving their flags around. They've got up off their seats. This is a huge moment early on in this game. It's 0-0, and this is an opportunity, Pat, for Ghana to take the lead.
Do you know, most of the time you get VAR, you think, okay, he's looked at VAR, why argue with the referee? Well, do you know what? I still think that's an utterly subjective call. I think that's really tough on the Uruguayans there. Really, really harsh on them. It wasn't offside, that's what I thought. So the referee got that one wrong. They're still complaining, they're still moaning about it, shouting and bawling about it. Uruguayans, I don't know what they're saying just now. The referee's given it. I can't see that he's going to change his mind and that he's already looked at the VAR. But I think that's quite tough, really quite tough in the Uruguayans. It's as if somebody thought there should be some retribution there.
Well, all of the Ghana substitutes have got their arms around each other ahead of this penalty kick. Darwin Nunez has just been shown a yellow card. That's because pretty much all of the Uruguayan players were still surrounding referee Siebert. So Nunez has been shown a yellow card. An opportunity for Ghana to take the lead in this game early on. We've not even played 20 minutes yet, almost reaching that 20-minute mark. It will be Andre Ayew to take this penalty. He's put the ball onto the spot.
Do you know what? This is incredible. You know, apparently that was very, very debatable to get against Uruguay, and 12 years ago is looming large.
Ayew to try and take this lead in this game. The referee just making sure all the players know that where they need to stand. Andre Ayew in full focus in front of Sergio Rochette. Ghana against Uruguay. And it will be Ayew to step up. The referee has blown his whistle, so he's good to go. Ayew steps up, takes his time. Oh, it's saved! Left-footed shot. It wasn't the best penalty at all. Easy enough for Sergio Rochette, with a huge celebration from him and the rest of the Uruguayan players and the fans inside this stadium. Heartbreak for Ghana, who had an opportunity to take the lead 20 minutes into this game, and Andre Ayew's penalty's been saved.
You know, Darwin Núñez has absolutely slaughtered the referee there after that penalty kick was taken, shouting and bawling at him almost in his face. I tell you what, very, very lucky. Did he get the first yellow card? I'm not too sure. In fact, I think he did get the first yellow card, Darwin Núñez, about complaining about the penalty kick being given. And he's away shouting in the referee's face again. He's got to calm down, as does Suarez.
So,
I think that, sorry to jump in there, the reason why they're furious, the players just now, is because that penalty took a long time because of the amount of time they wasted, and that was wasted to put pressure on Ayew. They put pressure on him and it worked.
It definitely did. I mean, he did take a long time though, yes. Ayew, in his run-up. It was slow,
you didn't believe in him, did you? I didn't believe in him. It looked as if he'd waited and waited and waited. The referee blew his whistle and he still waited and he was still uncertain. I wasn't surprised when that penalty was saved there.
Well, he's just been given a little bit of a hug and a tap on the shoulder, Andre Ayew, by his manager Otto Addo, just to say, come on, keep your focus, keep yourself in this game. So they've got a free kick, Ghana, inside their own half, and we'll go and check up on the score in the other Group H game in a second, just after this free kick is taken. And Marty leaves it forward, looking for Ayew again. He tries to wrestle his way past Bentancur, and then Deraskieta plays it forward for Facundo Pellistri down that right side to try and take this away from Salisu, but Salisu able to play it forward for Ghana. Looking to get on the end of it is Jordan Ayew down that left side. They couldn't quite make the most of it. A little bit of a tussle in midfield now between the two teams. Onto that centre circle. It's been given away though. This is an opportunity for Uruguay, and Núñez! Oh, what a clearance! That is absolutely outstanding. It was going right into the back of the net by Darwin Núñez, and Mohamed Salisu, with something of a superpower save, gets it off the line, and somehow Uruguay aren't in front.
Well, first, once again, Uruguay won the ball high up the field, so that was very, very poor play. But it came from nowhere, absolutely nowhere, and he has to catch that volley, right? He's about a yard out, he's running towards his own goal, he wraps his foot around it, and that is a goal-saving tackle right at the back there from Salisu.
It was incredible, the stretch that he got to get onto that. A massive kick away from Mohamed Salisu to deny Darwin Núñez, because to all of us, I think, in this stadium, we were seeing that going into the back of the net. Well, they've got themselves a corner, Uruguay. They're taking it on this left side. Back out it goes to Deraskieta. Plays it forward to Oliveira, who has to go to that right side to try and find Bentancur, who plays it across to Varela. But that surely would have given Uruguay a little bit of hope. But also the energy from Ghana and Salisu to deny them.
It's actually taken the penalty to get this game really going, hasn't it? It's got it going, but it's also enlivened the Ghanaian team as well. They've got a little bit angry because of, you know, the pushing and shoving that was going on in the box before the penalty was taken. So yeah, it's livened up and you've got both sides going for it. We may well have a cup tie on now. That's what it feels like.
Absolutely do. This is an interesting game because the game is really starting to turn up a notch. Ghana have the ball inside their own half and they're trying to weave their way away. Alidou Seydou trying to get away from Deraskieta, who was putting the pressure on him. It will be a throw-in just inside that Ghana half, and it was the manager Otto Addo who is so animated on that touchline, right? He's not actually sat down this whole time. I don't think the nerves, he can handle that very well. Varela on this right side for Uruguay tries to play it into the penalty area, but it's headed out by Ghana back into the pathway of Oliveira, but didn't quite work out to try and find Luis Suarez. So A throw-in it will be to Ghana, so that will give us an opportunity quickly to go to Aaron Paul and see what the latest is on Portugal against South Korea in Group H.
South Korea 0, Portugal 1. South Korea have had the ball in the back of the net. A really well-worked free kick popped into the box by Son. Cho got a head onto it. Diego Costa parried out. Kim Jin-soo converted, but the flag was raised almost instantly. Ruled out for offside. South Korea have to win the bottom of Group H as things stand. South Korea 0, Portugal 1.
And here it is still 0-0, unbelievably 25 minutes on the clock. There has been a penalty saved. It was Andrew Ayew didn't take the most convincing penalty, saved by Rochette, and then an opportunity for Darwin Núñez quickly to try and take the lead for Uruguay. He was denied by the long stretching boot from Mohamed Salisu, and that will be one of the highlights for him of his World Cup career, because I think everyone inside this stadium had the same expression as all of us. Right, on the side for Uruguay, looking to get it into the penalty area, has fallen to Suarez, looks to get his shot away, saved and headed in, made sure it went over the line by Georgian de Arrascaeta. Luis Suarez created it. De Arrascaeta, all he had to do was make sure the ball was over the line, and he did just that, and Uruguay take the lead against Ghana.
And the torture, because it's that man Suarez, brilliant play by him. Made sure he cut inside from the left-hand side, gets on target, good amount of power. They couldn't do enough to stop it there, and it's just a little tap in with the head. They will check it, but that goal looked okay to me there, and the fact that he did it right in front of all those Ghanaian fans there. Football's cruel that way, but I think they've deserved it. I think they should be ahead just now. The way that they've started off this game, Uruguay, they have chased, they've harried. We talk about winning the ball. I've said it from the first minute, they've just gone and done it again. They win the ball in the halfway line. I think the Ghanaians have been too slack there, and they have now paid the price.
Well, it wasn't easy tapping in the end by Georgian de Arrascaeta. Luis Suarez had a shot on goal. Wasn't the best save really from Ati Zigi, because his punch away went right into the pathway of de Arrascaeta. And there it is, 1-0. He had to head it down low to make sure it found its way over the line. There's absolutely no denying that goal. A huge celebration from Diego Alonso, the Uruguayan manager, down that touchline. A massive goal that is for Uruguay, which puts them second in Group H. And as it stands, they will be going through into the last 16. Now they come forward again. De Arrascaeta looking for a quick second. I think it's Pelistri who goes down in the box. It is. Luis Suarez tried the follow-up. Not too many complaints, though, by the Uruguayan players to the referee, and Ghana can come away on that left side.
It's exactly the problem's so obvious for the Ghanaians, and it has been right from the start. If you're going to be quite slack in the midfield against a team that desperately need to win, you will be closed down, and when you're closed down high up the field, you'll be in big danger with good strikers.
There's been another goal in the other Group H game, South Korea against Portugal. What's the latest, Aaron Paul?
Equaliser for South Korea, and it's a mistake from Cristiano Ronaldo, which has gifted Kim Young-gwon the equaliser for the South Koreans. The corner ball played in, it rolled off the back of Ronaldo as he was facing away from goal, and there was Young-gwon just to swoop the ball into the back of the net for the equaliser. South Korea 1, Portugal 1. South Korea, of course, need the win in this game.
South Korea do need the win. They're still at bottom of the table. Ghana now third with 3 points. Uruguay at second with 4 points. As it stands, it's Uruguay who are going into the last 16. They've just put the Group H table up on the board, so that will send nerves going around this stadium to those Ghanaian fans. So it's a throw-in inside the Uruguayan half. It was a decent throw as well, actually, from Alidou Said, who got it all the way into the penalty area. Out it goes again, and he tries to lift his shot into the penalty area for the rest of the players to get onto it, but Rochette right onto it and grasps hold of that ball.
How do you feel if you're Andrew Ayew right this second in time? You must be absolutely devastated. You know, they've got a real problem with scoring penalty kicks against Uruguay, haven't they? You know, that famous one that they weren't able to convert, and then they go out in penalty kicks those 12 years ago, and now they had the opportunity and they miss another massive one, and then moments later they're a goal down and they're looking to get out of the World Cup. This is painful for the Ghanaians, but so exciting for Uruguay.
Uruguay leading by 1-0, almost half an hour played as they look to play the ball into the box again, but it's defended away by Ghana, and there is a player down. Andre Ayew just took a knock to his head, so the referee Siebert will stop playing, just make sure he's okay. He's quickly back up on his feet. Psychologically, Pat, what's it like as a player? I mean, he's very experienced, Andre Ayew, but to miss a penalty in such a crucial stage of a World Cup match.
I was going to say, yeah, you're talking to the right man. I missed a few. But fortunately, I never missed any important ones. And I think that's the difference. I mean, players understand that. If you miss a penalty, you miss a penalty. You win the game, you just shrug your shoulders, laugh and go on with it. However,
how have you ever... What? How can you say that you've missed a penalty that's not important? Aren't all penalties important?
No. 4-1 up with a minute to go.
Oh, right, okay.
In a cup game.
Okay.
And I roll it back and it doesn't reach the keeper.
Yeah.
I'm all right with that still. But you don't want to lose, you don't want to miss the important. I've got something to show you, Payne, later about a penalty kick I've taken. You'll laugh your head off, trust me. But that's the thing, it's the important ones, it's the big ones. You remember the ones that are, that have an effect on the game. And, this could have an effect on whether his country gets through to the next round of the World Cup. And every player who misses one of them always remembers it.
So it's a free kick to Uruguay inside Ghana's half, about 15 yards away from the halfway line, closing to this near side. So will be Bentancur, who takes it short quickly into infield. Back out it goes to Oliveira on this left-hand side. Decides to go back to the centre-back pairing, Coates and Jimenez. And across it goes to Varela, who tries to weave his way into midfield. Suarez cuts it across to Arrascaeta! Uruguay lead 2-0, and it's Jordan Arrascaeta once again with a superb finish right in front of goal. It was a fantastic strike, sent it past Lawrence Natizigi, who had no chance to deny him, and Uruguay 2-0 up. They haven't scored at all in this World Cup, and now they've got two within 32 minutes.
And he's having a dream start, isn't he, Arrascaeta? He's getting into the right positions, and again, it's down to the simple thing. If you go and play what is basically a 4-2-4, and you've got wide players that are going to hammer forward and get in that back post when the ball's coming from the other side, this is not complicated stuff. This is just being on the front foot, on being positive, and knowing that this game must be won. And it's gone an absolute dream so far. And by the way, wasn't a bad finish, was it? Keeps it down, into the ground, volley. I was going to say there's nothing the keeper can do. I don't think he covers himself in glory, the goalkeeper, but it's good technique.
It is a brilliant technique. Took it with his right foot, sent it low, past Atizigi. More and more pain for Ghana, who now trail 2-0 in this first half, and it is an uphill battle because they know they need to win. If they win, they go through to the last 16. As it stands, Uruguay, who absolutely needed to do everything they could in their power to try and go through to the knockouts, they have looked the stronger side in this first half, Pat. And Jordan Arrascaeta, who makes his first start in this World Cup, has had an absolute outstanding opening half hour.
Oh, he has done. But if you've got, they've got an injury just now, so whether they're actually got, is it one of the centre backs there? I think it possibly is. Godin might have to come on, mightn't he? And he's been.
It's actually Rodrigo Bentancur.
Is it Bentancur? And he's really concerned there. You can tell by his reaction. I mean, some players get down and you think, yeah, right, we're not having that. But just his reaction, just the way he's sitting there, he's very, very concerned with whatever his injury is. I wonder if it's. No, I'd just be guessing at this point because I didn't see anything happening. I wonder if is there a damage in the hamstring or something like that, because he's not happy at all the way he's walking off.
Well, we're not seeing a replay of that injury, so we'll have to wait and see. But let's get another update on the other Group H match, which is South Korea against Portugal. What's the latest, Aaron Paul?
South Korea 1, Portugal 1. South Korea, of course, desperate for a win here to keep their chances of qualification alive, but it's Portugal who have had the best opportunity to re-establish their lead. Pepe under a lot of pressure. He played a long ball 60 or 70 yards down the field. It fell into the path of Cristiano Ronaldo outside of the boot, right-footed. He took a shot and it was well saved by Kim Sung-gyu. A great save by the Korean goalkeeper to keep his side level on terms here. South Korea 1, Portugal 1.
Ghana 0, Uruguay 2, and Rodrigo Bentancur has just been replaced by Matthias Vecino. So that injury that he suffered was too big for him to carry on in this game. 35 minutes on the clock, and that is a big miss for Uruguay.
It is a big miss because we'll talk about what's been most important. You know, A, you've got 4 forwards out there if you're Uruguay, but B, you're winning the ball in the midfield, and you're winning it high in the midfield. And I don't think anyone was winning it more than Bentancur there. So he was really core to what they were trying to do there. There's a wee bit of me thought, if you're Uruguay and you're 2-0 up just now and you know you need a win, is there a temptation just to bring on another centre-back? Go to a 3 at back and say, right, OK, we can hold on to this. We're capable of... Can I say I'm impressed with them not doing that? I really am impressed with them not doing that. But then I'll watch this closely and see if they do give up in the attack-minded attitude.
But Ghana have been a team that haven't given up during this World Cup. They've certainly entertained us, especially with their score lines, 3-2 score lines in both games. They've scored 5 goals, they've conceded 5 goals. So they have certainly been an entertaining watch. They also have an opportunity because they still have so much more to play for in this game. We've only played 35 minutes, so there's plenty to come in the second half. It has been a dominant performance, though, from Uruguay. Remember, Andre Ayew had the opportunity for Ghana to take the lead. His penalty was saved by Sergio Rochette. And then it all went Uruguay's way. 2 goals from Duraskiata within 6 minutes each. And Uruguay well and truly in control. Now, reminder, coming up later today on BBC Radio 5 Live, 7 o'clock, Cameroon against Brazil. Alistair Bruce Ball and Chris Sutton are at that one. Serbia against Switzerland. We'll have updates from Conor McNamara, so you'll be able to hear everything that's going on in that crunch match as well. But Ghana coming through with Kudos, who came onto the edge of the D, tried to fire his shot right past Rochette, but couldn't quite find the angle, and it went wide.
Do you know the psychological difference if Ghana can get a goal back now before half-time? 2-0 seems a long way, but if they get to 2-1 before half-time, they've got about 8 or 9 minutes, something like that. Suddenly they'll know they are only 1 goal away from qualification again. This is not over, not by a long shot.
It's definitely not over as the corner comes in on that far side, headed away by Suarez, who was ready and waiting on that near post. So they've got themselves another corner now, Ghana, an opportunity for them to try and get themselves back in this crucial Group H match. Both teams know that a win could potentially see them through to the last 16. Ghana need to come back from 2 goals down against Uruguay. Wasn't the best corner kick as it's headed straight out. And then the header away from Amati, actually the clearance away, didn't quite work out. He was looking for Jordan Ayew on that left side, but it was far too much pace on it. Saw out, and it will be a throw-in to Uruguay, and they'll take their time with this, Pat.
They will do. You can see a different attitude now, a slightly different attitude, but a better attitude from Ghana at the moment. They've lifted the pace and actually thrown in a little bit of tackling now. They're trying to get up the field. Fullbacks are going forward as well when they possibly can. They've got those couple of corner kicks there as well. So, you know, they've decided it's time to turn it on. They're waiting until they're 2-0 down, really, for that to happen. But they must win that battle or fight that battle in midfield much better than they've been doing it up until now. And so far, that midfield, which is good, you know, Partey, I mean, he's had a great season so far, obviously for Arsenal, but Abdul Samad as well. They've been second best. They have to go and put their stamp in this game.
Nervous faces among the Ghana supporters here inside Al Janoub Stadium. Uruguay currently leading by 2-0. That lead at the moment sends them into the last 16. Of course, there's another match going on in Group H, Portugal against South Korea, as Uruguay look to come forward once again with Nunez down this right-hand side, cuts in field, gets it cut away from Salisu, but then cut away by Abdul Samad, who came in. Suarez is down in the penalty area, didn't look too much into it, but Varela has won the ball back, and as he did, the referee blew his whistle, and it will be a free kick to Ghana.
The referee blew his whistle, and Luis Suarez blows his top, and he's got absolutely no point in doing that, because his movement, unusually for him, was terrible in the box there. Nunez made a brilliant run, got to the byline, and he turned up and he looked for Suarez. He was basically stood behind the defender. Didn't make it. He's still going mad. He's not happy, Luis Suarez, is he? He's looking for a penalty kick there. Not a chance.
Ball is on the left-hand side as Ghana come forward inside the Uruguayan half, but it's cut short as the ball was looking to find its way into the penalty area. Uruguay now in field, looking to play it across into that centre circle, waiting for Luis Suarez, who's been sort of hanging around, waiting for his moment to create an opportunity. Of course, he created that goal, that first goal for Georgian Deraskiata. His shot was rebounded and he was able to put it over. Now Ghana on this right side, little bit of skill, but Aladou Seydou to get it away, trying to cut into the penalty area, decides to go back out though, and the cross coming in the end by Abdul Samed was an easy enough one for Sergio Rochette, the Uruguayan goalkeeper, to hold on to.
Yeah, I mean, it's the right thing. You're trying the right thing there, but if it's going to go straight into the goalkeeper at chest height, that's not good enough. So, but again, it's a bit better, isn't it? You've found the first 20-25 minutes Ghana were just playing and kind of going through the motions to some degree, which is a real shock. But in this World Cup, how often have you seen it? It's not just the Japanese, it's the Cameroon team as well. They come back up in the second half sometimes and you think, are you the same 11 players? Because they can just change it up completely. And I do think if they do, get a couple of chances before half time and maybe a goal, this game could be absolutely phenomenal in the second half.
Well, Ghana, interestingly enough, have conceded 2 or more goals in each of their last 5 World Cup fixtures. They're currently down 2-0 against Uruguay, a lead for Uruguay that means they will go through to the last 16. We've played 40 minutes, so 5 minutes to go until we find out how much additional time will be coming into this first half. Ball's in midfield for Ghana, plays it back to Salisu, who had an outstanding clearance off the line from an opportunity for Nunez. Baba Rahman on that left side tries to lift it into the penalty area, will be picked up by Kudus, who has to play it back to Seydou. Kudus again on this right side, trying to weave his way away from Oliveira. Then there's also Deraskiata coming back in to try and nick that ball away. Uruguay have got it, but played back in by Seydou, who injures himself as he tried to hold on to that ball. He's still rolling around on the floor. There's a couple of players down now, actually, and it will go Uruguay's way, halfway inside Ghana's half.
Yeah, at the moment, actually, yes, he's actually, that looked actually a really bad one. He left the studs right on his hip. Now, whether it was deliberate or not, by Deraskiata. I'll get that name clean soon. Don't worry about that. I mean, it's an easy one. It's not rolling off the tongue easy. This is his first start, isn't it? Yeah. In the tournament, he plays for Flamenco, doesn't he? But he's been very involved in the game. The two. Do you know what? I've just seen that again. He might be off. Honestly, I think he's deliberately stamped there. Whether referee, I think VAR's got to look at. If that screen comes up here and says VAR looking at, I think he's in big trouble. Now, if it's only yellow, there's nothing going to do about it. But I would. Oh, that was ugly. Very, very ugly. You scored 2 goals. What are you doing something stupid like that for? It's a shame though, you were just looking away there when they showed you a replay of it. And it did. It looked really. There are not many big complaints about it, but. I think he's a lucky boy, because no one seems to be saying anything about it just now. It's one of those ones, if the referee does stop the game to see he's going to have a look, he's in big trouble.
Well, a Ghana fan has just been shown on TV, and he's put 3-2 with his hand. So that's what he thinks the scoreline is going to be. So he's expecting a comeback from his side. At the moment, Uruguay leading by 2-0. Ball is back in play. Across it goes to Vecino into the centre circle. Played back in by Valverde, who plays it to that right side to Varela on the wings. Now back into Vecino infield. Across it goes again, and Uruguay just looking to hold on to this to try and get another goal before half time. 2 minutes to go until we reach the 45-minute mark, and it's Varela who goes down. Will be a free kick to Uruguay, almost in line with the penalty area, all the way onto that right hand side. Well,
Varela's the right fullback ostensibly, but he's hammering her up that line all the time, isn't he? He's almost playing like a winger. He's got Pelistri in front of him, and as we say, you've got 2 forwards in there who are desperate to get the ball played in there, and another player that's actually scored 2 goals, Deraskiata. So, they have got so much positivity, and I wanted to see if they were going to change it after the substitution. They've not. They've kept just as positive. Well done.
So it's either Georgian Deraskiata or Federico Valverde to take this free kick for Uruguay on the far side. About 10 yards away from the penalty area. Quite a tight looking angle though. Derasquiata is the player who takes it instead. Like all the Ghana defenders were trying to get on the end of it. Don't think anyone actually got a touch to the ball. It's found its way all the way to that left side, near side corner flag. A little bit of skill from Suarez as he was trying to weave his way into the penalty area. A good touch though to take it away from him. He's fuming because he thought it should have been another corner, but it's actually a goal kick.
It'll be a nutmeg. He's going into a beautiful nutmeg. It's a classic.
And Iñaki Williams will not want to see that back.
No, he won't. I mean, I know he's a striker, you know, Williams, and they're not always noted to be the best defenders in the world. He was actually trying to keep his legs closed in the last moment. It just got done.
Ghana 0, Uruguay 2. We've reached the 45-minute mark, so we will find out very shortly how much time will be added on in this first half. So it will be 8 minutes of additional time.
I would say 5 of them for the penalty kick.
Yeah.
You know, because it took a long time, but of course there was the injury as well. That injury actually didn't take a long time from Bentancur. He was off quite quickly, but 8 minutes. We're getting used to this now.
Alidou Seydou down this right side for Ghana, tries to get it past, but it was nicked away from him by Oliveira, the Uruguayan left back. Into midfield it goes to find Valverde, who places it across to the right side. Varela now has space to run into, but he's just slowed his run down because Jordan Ayew was coming in, putting the pressure off. He did well though in the end to place it across. Now Varela on the overlap again on that right side, looking to get the cross in, does well as well, but Tati Ziggy to it. No Uruguayan player is really going to get on the end of that. Darwin Nunez was waiting for it. Wasn't the best delivery in though.
Well, that was a tackle and a half. We're quite a long way away from the action here, and I could hear that from up here. Both players completely and utterly committed, and well, I don't think you want that tackle again there. It was actually the two number 5s, wasn't it? It was Vecino who was coming in against Partey, and Partey come off second best.
Uruguay with the ball at the back. Now Coates, who were just waiting patiently. They are quite happy with this 2-0 lead, Uruguay, at the moment, and they have held off much of the threat from Ghana. Iñaki Williams hasn't really been involved much or had much service to him.
There was just a moment early on where I would say Kudus looked really good. He got the ball a couple of times. Obviously he got the penalty kick as well. And you thought, yeah, there's some liveliness. But other than that, since then, I would say, you know, Ayew's nothing much there, Williams nothing much there, and Kudus has gone really quiet as well. And it's because the team they're playing against look as if they've just the more heart and soul is getting involved in this game. They're chasing down, they're closing down. The question will remain, can the Uruguayans keep on doing this? Can they keep this tempo up? And if they can keep this tempo up, do they know how to kill the game off? That second question was rhetorical. Of course they know how to kill games off. That's what their past masters are.
Well, the Uruguayan throw right in front of the Uruguay bench, but it didn't quite work out. Ghana have the ball with the goalkeeper Ati Ziggy, who plays it forward, looking for Jordan Ayew. But Uruguay have the ball back again into Ghana's half. Played across by Valverde to this right-hand side to find Darwin Nunez. Back it goes again to Valverde. Now on the right side is Pelistri, cutting infield Derasquiata again, who's been playing across both flanks, really. He's sometimes popping up on the left, sometimes on the right. Then an overlapping run now from Varela, who tried to keep it into play. It did just that, did well actually to deny to that from being a goal kick.
They look good over there, those two together, don't they? I mean, the real liveliness, the willingness to go and sprint and go beyond players. I mean, it's actually quite shocking when you see how well Derasquiata is actually doing just now. Why has he not started before? Why has he not had a chance before? His pace is great. He's obviously sure a great eye for a goal, and he's linking up brilliantly, whether it's right or left.
He was also actually the player who scored the goal which booked Uruguay's place here in Qatar when he scored in a 1-0 win against Peru, which was their penultimate qualifier. So he has been an important player, coming up with important goals when they matter, and he's got both of them in this first half for Uruguay. We're into the 4th minute of the 8 minutes added on into this first half. Uruguay leading by 2-0. As it stands, Uruguay will go through as second place. Ghana on their way out of the World Cup, which will be a real shame because they have been such an entertaining team to watch, and the fans have been absolutely brilliant. The support coming from the stands, you can hear them. They're still in good spirits despite being 2-0 down.
Maybe it'll help them a little bit when they couldn't go and attack their own supporters in the second half, because that's exactly what they're doing. They're behind that goal at the moment. They're just trying to get into half-time without going 3 goals down. And you would imagine then, even for Ghana, that's going to be too much to get back.
2 minutes to go until the 8 are up. The free kick for Uruguay comes in. It was quite a deep delivery, actually, in the end. And nobody could get on the end of it as the ball was spilled into the penalty area.
There's no challenge on them. And the ball's come into the middle there, and he's gone up there. It's Jimenez, isn't it? And he's won it quite easily. If he doesn't get it, I think Darwin Núñez is right behind him, and he's going to get it as well. So, just so many things wrong at the moment with the Ghana side. They're not defending particularly well. The tempo's very, very disappointing. They've lost the midfield, full stop. And to be fair, you've hardly mentioned the strikers. They've hardly got a comment, have they? Because they've just not gotten the ball.
Salisu gives the ball away. Pelistri try to pounce right in front of the penalty area. 2 players actually colliding with each other. It's Ati Ziggy, the goalkeeper, and Facundo Pelistri, who stays down inside the area for Uruguay. The referee is not having any of it, but Pelistri is not in a good way.
No, you've got to have a look at that. You've got to have a look. Apart from anything else, I don't think he's going for the ball, and I think I would give a penalty for that. I would give a penalty. I don't think he's getting near the ball. It's
Daniel Amati, who is the player who just gets his body in the way right in front of Facundo Pelistri. Yeah, a little bit of a push and a shove from Amati to take out Facundo Pelistri, who's now back up on his feet. VAR aren't checking it.
Do you know what? I may be giving you a forwards point of view there, right? But I'm running in there. He doesn't go for the ball. He goes for the man. He makes no attempt to play the ball. He's just trying to usher it back to the goalkeeper. Thinks the forward's getting too close, so he goes and jumps in towards the man. You're not allowed to do that. You're supposed to try and play the ball.
A minute to go until we hit the 8 minutes of additional time in this first half. Uruguay leading by 2-0. Ghana looking for a comeback to try and get themselves back in this game, trying to get them some more hope that they will try and qualify through to the last 16. Uruguay have only ever failed to progress from the group stage once, which was back in 1974. Very consistent team in the World Cup, and they've absolutely come up from it when it counted. They didn't manage to score in their opening 2 group stage games, but 2 goals from Georgian Diraskiata in this first half of season, taking the lead so far. Ball's on the right side in the Uruguayan half as Ghana try and come forward. Picked up in the midfield by Kudus, who has a space to play it down that left side to try and find Baba Rahman, but it's well picked out by Varela. Ghana have the ball back in midfield just outside that centre circle, weaving their way back through, trying to get involved in it. Kudus on the rebound, looking to get it on top of the D, but Uruguay able to clear that ball away. They won't care to try and attack now before this half-time break. They're just trying to get that ball away from danger.
They are, and because you've got Darwin Núñez who's going to chase it in there. Luis Suarez, for the fact, well, wait a moment.
Almost a beautifully weighted ball over the top, looking for Iñaki Williams. I think it was Salisu who did it. Yeah, it was. All the way from Ghana's half. Spotted a brilliant pass on to Iñaki Williams, who was waiting to pounce on that penalty spot. Little bit too much pace on it, couldn't quite stretch far enough to take a touch. If it had got a touch, that probably would have gone past Rochette.
Right, I know it's been harsh on him, but had that been Erling Haaland, that was in the net, because he would bring it down. Our top strikers would have brought that down and got a chance there. He actually hesitated and didn't actually hold the ball. It was a tough one to take, but he didn't do well.
Well, there goes the half-time whistle. Well, an opportunity for Andre Ayew early on in the first half. He was given a penalty. He had the opportunity to try and take the lead for Ghana. It wasn't the most convincing penalty, and it was a big save from the Uruguayan goalkeeper. Then that sprung Uruguay into life. Georgian Diraskiata got the first goal at 26 minutes into this game. It was a goal that was actually made by Luis Suarez. He took a shot, and on the rebound, Diraskiata with a low header made sure it found its way over the line. Then a stunning goal actually on the volley at 32 minutes, just 6 minutes out. by Duraskieta again, and all of the Ghana players are stood in a huddle, Pat. They haven't even gone in yet for their half-time talk. They're doing it outside on the pitch.
I think they're having a huddle saying, do you think we should go in there because the manager's going to absolutely hammer us? And he's probably right. They've started the game with, from the first minute or two, I was saying they're not up for it, they're not at it, they're not playing at a high tempo, they look as if they're playing for a draw. They're getting beaten in the midfield, they're losing the tackles in midfield. Take nothing away from Uruguay. I think Uruguay have been magnificent today, and I think they've started up with such an ultra positive attitude. But even when you went a goal down, you think they're going to lift it, you're going to change it. They weren't able to do that. Yeah, the stuffing was knocked out of them with missing the penalty kick, and it's been a hard one for them to take, losing that. But at the moment, they need to change something massively, whether it's personnel, system, whatever, because they A, look as if they're going out, B, they deserve to be going out.
Well, plenty more action to come in the second half. Half-time score, Ghana 0, Uruguay 2.
Talk more to Pat in just a moment. Let's just round up the first half between Portugal and Korea. Here's Aaron.
South Korea 1, Portugal 1. Not the ideal first half for Korea, who have to win if they're to stand any chance of qualification mark. And things didn't start well. Ricardo Horta scoring on his World Cup debut after some great work from Diogo Dalot down the right-hand side. The South Korean equaliser came through a bit of good fortune. A corner deflecting off of the back of Cristiano Ronaldo and falling into the path of Kim Young-Gwon, who fired home. Both sides have had further opportunities. Ronaldo's right-footed shot forced a good save from Kim Seung-gu, while a Heung-min Song long ranger has tested Diogo Costa in the Portugal goal. All square at the break though, 1-1, and not good enough for qualification for South Korea.
No, it would leave them bottom of the table. Portugal top, Uruguay second, Ghana third as things stand. Sebastian Bassong, former Cameroon international, with us in the studio here in Doha. Just one on the Portugal-Korea game. I mean, he's had a couple of other chances as Cristiano Ronaldo, hasn't he? Portugal should probably be ahead.
Yeah, from what I've seen, Portugal should be ahead. Korea is really fortunate to not be maybe 1 or 2-0 difference. And they're still in the game. I've seen them playing as usual. They've started the game so slow. They've been reactive, but they reacted well. They're still in the game, so their chance to go through is still alive.
Still in the game, and as we've learned from previous evenings, as long as you're still in the game, anything can happen in the second half, and you can make the group reach a dramatic conclusion. I think you said it, Pat, in your summary at the end of that half, and you and Peen will be able to have a better gauge of this than myself and Sebastian sitting in the studio, that missing that penalty felt like it took the wind out of the sails of both the Ghanaian team and the fans, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard one because I think a lot of people feel this. See, when you miss a penalty and it's smashed and the keeper makes a great save, it's slightly different to a completely limp one. I mean, it's just a really, really poor penalty and an unbelievably easy save. It's as if you've just given that chance away as opposed to, you've made a right good effort at it. So, yeah, it was doubly hard purely for the fact that it was such a poor penalty as well. But I think that ignores the fact that I love what Uruguay are doing. I mean, the attitude, the positivity, the winning the ball back. In midfield, they were winning almost every single tackle. They're getting goals and chances from turnovers high up the park, or certainly on the halfway line. So right from the start, they've started well. The positivity of having Palestro and Varela looks like a right full-back come wing-back, and he's just getting up there all the time. You've got Nunes and Suarez and Duraskieta. I mean, somebody explain to me why. Well, first of all, who's got a complicated name like that? It's so hard to say. And secondly, how is he not starting? Because he's been absolutely brilliant today.
Yeah, Pete, for once today I'm gonna have to agree with you. I'm gonna have to agree with you. For me, from what I've witnessed, the Uruguayan midfield just won the physical battle. They were at it, they were first on the ball, and the Ghanaian player all over the pitch, they're not quite up for the task. Honestly, their passing are bang average. So if they're gonna win, they're gonna go through, they're gonna put up with a better performance, and physically you're gonna win those battles. And Uruguay, fair play to them, they're really at it. They're playing 120%. They're first in the ball, so they're quite aggressive in a good way. That's why they're 2-0 up.
Just one final thing, Pat. I mean, you mentioned Esquieta, the goal scorer. Suarez was instrumental in both goals, actually. His shot, which was parried for the first, but his hook over his shoulder for the second goal was a lovely ball, actually.
Do you know, the lovely thing that you're watching Luis Suarez just now, look, he almost can't run, like, as in sprinting into areas where he used to be brilliant. He doesn't even try it. However, that doesn't mean he's not trying every other part of his game. He's chasing, he's harrying, and when he's on the ball, it's as if, because he can't do that anymore, not running 100 miles an hour, he just uses all his skills, and they have been fantastic. That hook over the head you talk about, various things have been brilliant, but the nutmeg down in the corner is absolutely, it's actually hilarious, because you can see, I think it was Williams who was coming out, and he's trying to keep his legs together, and then just at the last second, he just only was inches enough to put it through, and he almost created another chance from there. So, upsettingly for Ghana fans, they almost have to accept Suarez is having a really good game just now, and when he runs out of energy, they've got Cavani to bring on. So. Yeah. They'll need to do something special to get back into this game. But I look back to the Cameroon game, they were 3-1 down, they were completely out it against Serbia, and then a couple of changes, game completely changed. So it's not finished yet. We've seen that too often in the World Cup so far.
That's the second thing that Sebastian's agreed with you on in there. Just nodding and smiling at the Cameroon point. Right, Peen, Pat, for the moment, thank you very much. Portugal have 7, Uruguay have 4, Ghana have 3 and Korea have 2. That is how the group stands at half-time. Second half's on the way. 7 o'clock here in Qatar, 4 o'clock in the UK. Here's Richard Foster.
Take the World Cup with you. Qatar 2022.
On BBC Sounds, this is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Fresh strikes have been announced by 2 unions which could disrupt travel in the run-up to Christmas. Road workers from the PCS union have announced 12 days of staggered walkouts. Several hundred ground staff at Heathrow Airport will strike for 72 hours. That starts in 2 weeks' time. Parents are being urged to be aware of the symptoms of Strep A after another primary school child died from the disease. 4 deaths have been confirmed by the UK Health Security Agency. Officials say there's been a slight rise in the number of cases, but serious complications are rare. The boss of Tesco says people are switching from buying fresh food to cheaper frozen goods as the cost of living bites. Ken Murphy has told the BBC that some shoppers are also swapping pricier red meat for cheaper white meat to try to save money. And the Kremlin's dismissed comments by President Biden that he'd be prepared to talk to Vladimir Putin if the Russian leader signals he's looking to end the war in Ukraine. A spokesman says Moscow will continue with its special military operation. That's the news. Ellie has the travel.
In the latest travel news, in Warwickshire on the M6 southbound, there's very slow traffic after the road was closed briefly between junction 3 and 2 for Coventry. All lanes are back open now, though. On the M42 southbound, one lane is closed from junction 3 for Redditch to 3A. There's a broken down vehicle there and traffic's really heavy on the approach. Near Cambridge on the M11 northbound, a broken down car's just been moved to the hard shoulder in the last 10-15 minutes. That's between junction 12 and 13. Congestion at the moment is back to junction 11 for Cambridge South. Also, traffic is queuing to junction 14 on the southbound side because of people looking what's happening there. And on the M25 clockwise, there's a lane closed at junction 25 for Enfield. That's because of a broken down car, and congestion is to South Mims at junction 23. Ellie Brennan, 5 Live Travel.
The best live sport.
The FIFA World Cup, Qatar 2022.
Coverage of every game on 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
The stage is left to Marcus Rashford with the free kick. Oh, what a free kick! And that was special!
On Sunday evening at 7, Senegal v England.
We're going to go again, and it's knockout football now, so this is where it becomes a lot tougher.
Take the World Cup with you.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
BBC 5 Live.
The FIFA World Cup, Qatar 2022 with Mark Chapman.
Just away from the World Cup, England were all out for 657 on day 2 of the first test in Pakistan. The day closed with the home side 181 without loss in reply. Tough going for the bowlers. Ball-by-ball commentary from 4:45 of day 3 tomorrow morning on Sports Extra. Let's go into the England camp now ahead of them taking on Senegal on Sunday evening at 7 o'clock. Marcus Rashford has said that Jude Bellingham will be the best midfielder in the world in the next 3 years. And Bellingham himself has been talking to our reporter, Emma Saunders.
I think that's my aim. I don't know, things like that don't just happen to you because you've done good things in the past. It's about maintaining the standard that I've set myself so far and improving. It's really nice for Rashi to see that. Obviously, we've only played it with each other a few times, and the fact that he sees that is really nice for me to hear. But yeah, I suppose it lets you know what other people think your potential is, and you just need to remember to keep working hard and make sure that you don't let them down.
With Marcus, he's quite a good example of someone, again, like yourself, he's achieved a lot at a young age, and he's used his time away from football really well, really tried to make an impact. Because you've got so much ahead of you, obviously it's clear what you want to do on the pitch, but off the pitch, is there anything at all that you've thought about as far as legacy goes, or other projects or anything?
I've always thought about doing stuff in Birmingham, trying to I think about what would I have really needed growing up, and what I had. You know, my parents gave me the platform to do everything I ever wanted, which was mainly to play football. But I think about the people who were in worse off positions than me and what they'd want to do, and you know, I'd probably want to start something up in Birmingham, maybe a foundation or something, just to try and help the city, help kids in the city. I'd like to do something along them lines, you know, letting them play, building pitches and stuff like that. I think just to give people a platform, really, because, you know, like it shows, look at our squad, it's made up of people from such different backgrounds from all over the place, and, you know, you give them the platform and you never know what can happen. So, yeah, I just want to give maybe other people a platform.
Yeah, the Birmingham Foundation or Academy. It's got a nice ring to it, hasn't it? You can
co-sign it if you want.
With the banter as well, one of the last interviews I saw you do before you came out here, it was some kind of record in Germany. Someone had made the point that you were just behind Erling Haaland. You sort of rolled your eyes, like, come on, the comparisons. It's pretty quite nice having a break from all that here, isn't it?
Yeah, to be honest, I've not heard his name in 2 weeks, which is like it's like a personal record. So yeah, I was really enjoying it, but never mind. There's always people that you get asked about and things you get asked about, and yeah, it's nice that it's not nice that he's not here, but it's nice not to hear his name for a few weeks, and because I know for sure that as soon as the tournament's done and he's back playing, that I'll be hearing it non-stop.
Have you heard from him? Have you had any contact at all?
Yeah, we speak every now and then, to be fair. Normally when we're both playing, it's more often, but it's normally silly stuff, to be honest. Just if he sees something that makes him laugh, or I see something that we talked about before, we'll send it to each other. But yeah, it's never like every day checking up on each other. You know, we're not together. So yeah.
Any encouraging words though for you in England?
Oh yeah, he's always really encouraging, to be fair. He messaged me after the first game and before the first game, just saying good luck, and then he said well done. So yeah, he's a top guy.
Jude Bellingham with Emma Saunders. Such was the ridiculous amount of time added on in Uruguay-Ghana that Korea-Portugal is already 5 minutes into the second half. And it is still Korea 1, Portugal 1. So Portugal are going through as the group winners. Uruguay are going through in second at the moment. Ghana somehow, Sebastian Bassong, need to get themselves, it's obvious thing to say when they're 2-0 down, they need to get themselves back into this somehow. They need to fire themselves up again, don't they?
Yeah, they need to go and dig deeper. They need to go and dig deeper in terms of energy, in terms of intensity, aggression in a nice way. Because at the end of the day, now they got 45 minutes. They got to think, I don't know, they got to find some triggers in order for them to get this first goal. And as soon as the first goal is going to be scored, I reckon that the fans are going to get back behind them. And then now you can see there's some changes made. So Otto Addo is trying to bring some life into it. So let's hope for them that is going to be the case.
Yeah, the Ghanaian players are back out. A couple of substitutions are going to be made. The Uruguayans just a little bit behind them, and they're coming out of the tunnel now. An interesting 45 minutes ahead because, Peen, as we've seen over the last few nights, anything can happen.
Anything can really happen in this game. Ghana know that if they draw, they will go through. So they need to try and find something, Pat, within them to try and inspire a comeback. They are making a couple of changes, one of them being Andre Ayew, who missed the penalty in that first half. Jordan Ayew is also off, so both Ayew brothers are replaced by Kamaldeen Sulemana and Osman Bukhari, who came on as a substitute actually against Portugal on match day 1 and scored in the 89th minute. So he's already got himself a World Cup goal. Are you surprised by the changes in the second half?
Not in the slightest. Absolutely not in the slightest. In fact, I wouldn't have been surprised if they had made 3 changes, because you have to do extreme stuff now, and the Ayus hadn't really had much in effect. In fact, sadly, the biggest effect was missing that penalty kick. So he made the changes. Let's see if they can change the attitude of all the players on the field.
Well, Ghana, who trail by 2-0 against Uruguay in Group H, are heading out of the World Cup as it stands, as the fans inside this stadium, Al Janoub Stadium, start making their way back to the seats. This is the teams then, so Ghana making the 2 changes. Andre Ayew and Jordan Ayew both replaced Kamaldeen Sulemana and Osman Bukhari, the 2 who have come on. So Ati Zigi in goal, Seydou Amati, Salisu and Baba Rahman make up the defensive line for Ghana, with Partey and Abdul Samed just ahead of those. Kudus, Bukhari and Sulemana are just in behind Iñaki Williams, as Ghana try to strive forward, with Baba Rahman looking to place the ball into the box. Quick opportunity, and it skimmed past the face of goal, and Kudus couldn't get on the end of it. He was searching for that ball right in front of goal, and it just skimmed past him. He couldn't reach it, and that was a big opportunity in the opening seconds of this second half.
Yeah, and that's the attitude you want to see. I mean, a good ball through. It's wide on the right-hand side there. Definite offside when it was played in there, but his follow through's caught the goalkeeper nowhere nearly as bad as he's been caught. Let's be fair about it. We know this we're going to get a little bit of this between now and the end of it. Actually, I've seen it again. Ouch! Just ouch. Goalkeeper. Sorry, I'll take that back. Rochette, yes, it's acceptable to squeal a little bit of that one. I'll give you that, mate.
Make of that what you will. So Ghana 0, Uruguay 2. Ghana with the opportunity. It was actually the substitute Osman Bukhari who was coming in on that right side to get the shot through to try and place it into the pathway for Kudus, but they're coming forward again. Ghana down onto this left hand side. Sulemana weaving his way through, not the best touch though by Abdul Samed. Actually, it was Thomas Partey actually that did that.
Yeah, it's livelier, isn't it, Payne? They've really lifted it. They're actually beginning to win the balls in the midfield. Like they didn't do it at all in the first half, Ghana.
On the right side, looking to play in Kudus, but it's taken away from him, and they'll try and come forward again. Ghana on the edge of the penalty area as they try and come forward. Kudus is there, but it gets the ball nicked away from him though by Valverde, and now Uruguay will try and chase this ball down with Darwin Nunez, who gets away from Amati. Nunez with the cross into the penalty area, too deep though for Luis Suarez to try and get hold of it.
He does well, Suarez, there, because he knew he was never going to be fast enough to get away from the defender, so he peeled away from the back post, but again it was still too wide from the... There's good understanding between Nunez and Suarez. They really have tried to work together. It's not always worked, but they're looking for each other all the time. They are working like a partnership.
Well, it's the same team that finished the first half for Uruguay. Rochette in goal, still a back four. Varela, Jimenez, Cortez and Oliveira in front of those. Pelistri, Valverde, Vecino and Arrascaeta. Of course, Rodrigo Bentancur had to go off through injury in that first half, so it was Vecino who replaced him. Then Luis Suarez and Darwin Nunez, the 2 who lead the line for Uruguay, but it has been Suarez out of the 2 between Nunez and Suarez who has been shining.
Yes, he has. He's looked really good. I don't know if he's going to last the entire game, but he'll give everything he's got.
Bukhari down this right side for Ghana, looks to play it into the penalty area, and it went a little bit deep. Baba Rahman will try and hold on to this, but it goes out for a throw-in to Ghana. Back on to the left side to find Salisu. Plays it infield and in front for Abdul Samed, who has to turn to try and get away from Valverde, who's putting the pressure on. Wasn't the best ball.
It's a bit of a shame though, because they actually had got it going there quite well. They're spending a lot more time in the opposition half, we mentioned just before the end of the first half what a difference it will make if they're going into their own supporters, Ghana, and all their supporters are banked in there behind the goals there. So it's given the players a lift, and Bakari's caught the eye already since he's come on. He's shown a lot more pace than either of the Ayew brothers that he replaced.
Kudus tries to hold on to the ball, and it's flicked into the pathway of Iñaki Williams, who tries to place it forward to Bukari. Got a little touch onto there by the Uruguayan defenders as they try and cancel out this Ghana attack, and they've done well because there's about 5 or 6 of those light blue shirts that are making sure they're defending with their lives, Pat, because they know that if they concede, that would inspire something in Ghana to try and get another one.
Yeah, and it needs that moment, and certainly Ghana expect 5, 10, 15 minutes worth of this sort of pushing, and you're getting down the line, using all the pace they possibly can. What is impressive though is that I'm looking at the Uruguayans, and I don't think they've changed the shape. I expected them to fall back. It's a natural thing to do. You're 2 goals up, you only need to win the game. But no, they've left the 2 wingers on, they've left the 2 strikers on, and certainly from midfield they're trying to get forward.
Ball with Daraskiata, tries to play it into the penalty area, but it's taken away from him by Seydou. Back through the defence, and Partey weaving it out to that right side of Ghana, and it was a foul actually that came in from Oliveira, just took the ball away from Seydou, and the referee spotted it, so will be a free kick which is taken quickly, sent back to the Ghana goalkeeper Ati Zigi. Plays it into the pathway of Salisu. He'll try and get a little bit more distance forward now for Ghana. Abdul Samad has the ball to his feet, finding Thomas Partey, his midfield partnership. Across the goal, the halfway line it goes. To the right side, weaving his way through now is Bukari. Tries to keep hold of this, but Uruguay doing well to close him down.
They've actually spotted that he's a danger, and the Uruguayans, what they've actually done is just played 2 players on him, and they're not trying to tackle him, they're just showing him inside. So he's got pure pace, but I don't think he's got the tricks that he's absolutely needed to get by a couple of players. So they're just showing him inside, saying yeah, keep the ball, run fast, but just run into traffic, and that's exactly what he's doing now. He needs to get himself isolated if he possibly can with a full-back and use that pace down the line again.
Amati to the left to Salisu, just getting over the halfway line now. Ghana as they're edging closer towards that Uruguayan goal. Salisu plays it back across to Amati. Amati comfortably into that centre circle to find Seydou. He's got an option to his right. Ghana weaving their way forward. Seydou back into midfield, finding Abdul Samad. Is forced back to Salisu again as they look to knock on the door against Uruguay. They know they need to somehow try and inspire some sort of comeback if they want any hope of staying in the World Cup, to extend their ticket in Qatar. Abdul Samad looking to dink that ball into the penalty area, not quite cleared away by Uruguay, and eventually Valverde got onto the end of it, and Vecino, the player for Uruguay, to play it into the hand, actually, I think it was, of Abdul Samad. So will be a free kick to Uruguay inside their own half.
And you know what it's like with other teams, you don't want to lose anything. There may be a little bit of panic in the defence. Not Uruguay, that's not what they do. They love defending. They've got a lot of players out there who love defending. It's an art form for the Uruguayans, and it always has been. And at the moment when the balls are played in without sophistication, they are dealing with it quite easily.
Lovely bit of play from Uruguay between Varela and Pelistri, both players playing it between each other, so it frustrated the Ghana players, who actually put in a foul. Will be a free kick to Uruguay. Facundo Pelistri starting to come in to this game a bit more, especially in that first half. Made a couple of poor passes, poor decisions early on, but he started to really create some chances and be a nuisance really to that Ghana defence.
Yeah, and he's learning a great deal where he's playing his football now, quite clearly. But the fact that he's got that pace, he's not used it all that often, but that may well become a little bit easier as the game goes on. So if they keep him on, I think those gaps might open up, especially if Ghana have to push forward. And I tell you what, Suarez knew what was coming there, and he was clever. He left his body in a way. And to be fair, he's a bit unlucky not to get a yellow card against him there. He's held the ball up, and Salisu has just come straight through the back of him.
Yeah, so it will be a free kick to Uruguay, halfway inside the Ghana half, directly in front of the goal that Lawrence Atizigi is defending. So an opportunity again for Uruguay. We are almost 10 minutes into this second half, and it's Ghana 0, Uruguay 2. Uruguay, as it stands, through to the last 16, something that they have done time and time again at the World Cup. They've only failed to progress once in their World Cup campaign. So Valverde and Georgian Diraskieta, who scored the 2 goals in the first half, the 2 players over the ball. So it'll be left by Arrascaeta and taken by Valverde, who placed it into the box. Good delivery onto that left-hand side, but taken away by the Ghana defence. The flag is up anyway for offside, so it wouldn't have counted, but Ghana are able to defend that attack from Uruguay well.
Yeah, there was a little look round the back there, and I was wondering if they had timed it well. Ghana were very strong at keeping the line along the 18-yard line, but it's a dangerous moment because you absolutely know now. You know, they try to play a high line. If they get that wrong and they lose a goal, they're out of the tournament. They're not going to come back from 3 goals down. But as it is, it's still there. It's still a possibility. They played a little bit better in the second half, Ghana, but still, it's only the odd half chance or two apart from that penalty kick.
Ball is at the feet of Salisu, who's looking to play a nice ball into Suleimano, who comes all the way through. Just a little bit of a nudge from the Uruguayan goalkeeper to take him away. He stays down.
I think that's really good refereeing there. I think he's made a run through. I'm trying to see if he's onside. He is onside there. He's not looking at the goalkeeper. He's just looking at the ball, nothing else. And it's a collision. They're coming together. I don't think there's a foul there. The referee, I don't think, has given a foul against the goalkeeper. I think the goalkeeper did not have control of the ball either. So the ball's kicked out. Ghana have got a throw in. Uruguay will be desperate to get the ball thrown back to them. I don't think Ghana are going to give them it. That might lead to a bit of tension here.
Rochet back up on his feet, the Uruguayan goalkeeper, after that collision with Kamaldeen Suleimana, who came on as a second half substitute. The Ghana manager Otto Addo making 2 changes at the start of this second half to try and inspire a comeback, because they're currently down 2-0 against Uruguay. 56 minutes on the clock here. And a lovely ball over actually from Diraskieta. Opportunity for Uruguay to try and make it 3-0. Darwin Nunez goes down in the penalty area. He's saying he was dragged down. The referee, Siebert, says no, and he wants play to go on.
Do you know what? He's gone through there, and from the angle we're at, it looks like a penalty kick all day long. It certainly did to me. However, the referee was right up with play, directly behind it. He was very, very confident that that was a clean tackle and the defender got the ball.
So Uruguay,
they will have a look at it though.
They are having, yeah, they will. Uruguay players, as you can imagine, are already starting to surround the referee, and VAR are having a look at this to see if there is a potential penalty. Is there a foul from Amati onto Darwin Nunez? Well, the referee has been told to go over to the monitor and have a look at this.
And so what he's done is Nunez has got in front of him, and he's just basically put on the brakes. Waited for the collision. The collision's actually happened, and of course the defender's not deliberately done that, but there is contact. There absolutely is contact. So once again, you wouldn't be completely surprised if this was given.
It's hard to tell whether Amati's challenge, because he sticks out that right leg, doesn't he, onto Darwin Nunez, whether that got a touch to the ball first, or he took out the back legs of Darwin Nunez before he did anything with the ball. No, he doesn't get a touch, does he?
No, he does get a touch. There is a tiny little touch.
Yeah, just the top of his toe.
But whether that happened after the contact, that is, I have to tell you now, that is not a clear and obvious error if the referee didn't give it right away. So the referee's looking at this, so you're talking not millimetres but milliseconds.
Well, he was stretching out that right leg, Daniel Amati, trying to just get that ball away from Darwin Nunez. He definitely took him out, but whether there was that touch on the ball first, no penalty. The referee, Daniel Siebert, says that Daniel Amati got
the ball first.
The ball first.
I tell you what,
wow.
Well done him. To see that.
That is confidence in refereeing.
Yeah,
right there.
look, it made his decision. The decision is, it should be the clear and obvious ones at that situation, right? Is that clear and obvious to you? It certainly isn't to me. It's very, very tight. Nunez gets in front of him, starts putting on the brakes, waiting for the contact. And Amati's actually got a toe on the ball, hasn't he? But whether it happened before the contact or not, who knows? So I would stick with it. I think the referee's got that one right.
it's quite refreshing, isn't it? We don't see that very often when the referee has been told to go over to the monitor to have a look to change his decision, and he's stuck with his original decision of no penalty. So no penalty to Uruguay. The score stays Ghana 0, Uruguay 2.
They're very lucky again. Well, I'm really shocked at that. He's
yellow card to Luis Suarez, a challenge onto Thomas Partey inside the centre circle. Not really sure what was going on there. Didn't look too much, but maybe it's just because he's been whinging so much at the referee, Luis Suarez.
Honestly,
where's the yellow card?
I have no idea. I'm really trying hard. I'm like you. I'm trying very hard. Unless he said something.
It must be what he said, because he wasn't involved in that challenge onto Thomas Partey.
And you just wonder now. The fact is, Luis Suarez is quite combustible. The referee's relationship with him has been strained all the way through here. Do you want to keep Suarez on, or do you think, well, wait a minute, you don't want to be down to 10 men?
Kudus across to that right-hand side, looking for Seydou. Tries to weave his way around. Kudus picks up again for Ghana, looking to get onto the edge of the penalty area. He's forced back slightly, now halfway inside the Uruguayan half. Onto this left-hand side to Souleymane. Overlapping one from Baba Rahman, but he's decided to go back to Abdul Samad.
Well, he's hit the referee there, so they have to start it again. They were in a great position there. They were just going to get an overlap on the left-hand side. Thing is, that's not the referee's fault. The referee was standing there. Don't hit him.
So ball is back in play, and it's on this left-hand side. Souleymane for Ghana, looking to weave his way past Varela from Uruguay.
That's really good defending there. Do you know, a defender sees where the problem is. I mean, Jimenez is class anyway. You know, the Atletico Madrid's centre-back sees the danger, sees that the possible problem with full-back. I'll go over there and help him, just in case. He was needed, and his timing was magnificent, and even had the cheek to get a throw out of it.
Guillermo Varela with the throw-in on the near side for Uruguay into their own half, but it will be another free kick to Uruguay just on the edge of the area. And an opportunity to go and have a look what's happening in the other Group H match. The last time we heard, it was 1-1 against Portugal and South Korea. Aaron Paul?
It remains that way. South Korea 1, Portugal 1. Of course, a draw not good enough for South Korea. They need a win, at least, to have any form of chance of qualification. But just on a Portugal front, Cristiano Ronaldo, Ruben Neves and Mateus Nunes have all been substituted. Andre Silva, Fulham's João Paulinho and Rafael Leao are all on. South Korea have gone close in the past few minutes, hanging beyond with the shot from the edge of the area. It was a fizzing effort. Diogo Costa parried it out uncomfortably, and the ball was hooked away with a long-range clearance. South Korea 1, Portugal 1. South Korea bottom as it stands.
But it's so tight, isn't it, Ben? You know, if they get a goal now and go ahead, then suddenly they're on the same points as Uruguay, and it's all up to play for again.
And then the permutations start coming in, Pat, and we've already been speaking about this. I don't want to do it. So let's just make our lives easier and have something very clear and concise so we know exactly what's going on. I mean, it was difficult yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And the day before, there was moments where the yellow cards were going to be put into place and all this kind of stuff. So that's all.
Well, do you know the worrying thing is, if they get a goal now, they go level not only in points, but in goal difference.
Souleymane with a cross in from that left-hand side, looking to get the arrival from that right-hand side from the substitute Bukhari. It was a fabulous cross from Souleymane from just outside the penalty area and on that left-hand side. It was a brilliant cross, and Bukhari just couldn't quite stretch enough because it was an open goal had he got there.
Yeah, and again, there's been 2 or 3 opportunities. You know, they've got the ball in there. They looked lively in the second half. Much better than the first half without being brilliant, Ghana. And you know, they've got that pace down the wide areas. They needed to do something. They needed to ask some questions, and they are asking far more questions. They are shading this half. There's no doubt in my mind about that.
Darasqueato was coming down that left far side for Uruguay, but he was well ushered away by Daniel Amati, and that got a big cheer from the Ghanaian fans inside this stadium. But Uruguay now attacking towards where all the Uruguay fans are. We can see in the corner from where we're sat, Pat, that blue wave of Uruguayan fans. So Ghana attacking towards where the Ghana fans are, so that will make it all the sweeter if they do try and find a comeback. Uruguay, who are still leading by 2-0 in this crucial Group H match. As it stands, Portugal and Uruguay are going through to the last 16, but anything could still happen. Uruguay into the penalty area, gets the shot away! And Facundo Pellistri, who was right in front of goal on the edge of that 6-yard box, couldn't quite get it on top. I mean, it looked like it'd gone in because it absolutely battered the back of the net, but it went the wrong side, and it stays 2-0.
Well, they're going to make the changes now, and it's it's no great surprise that they're going to make these changes. A lot of fresh legs that are going to come on for the Uruguayan team, and they have got some real quality to bring on, and why wouldn't you do that? Kills a little bit of time, and certainly one of the substitutions isn't a surprise one to me. Luis Suarez is going to be on a yellow card just now. He's run his socks off today. You have to be absolutely and utterly fair about that, and he's done very well in this game, however.
So Luis Suarez is off. Edison Cavani comes on. They've swapped the captain's armband, so Edison Cavani now wearing that captain's armband. Facundo Pellistri is the other to make way. Nicolas de la Cruz comes on to make his second appearance in this World Cup. So 2 changes for Uruguay. Reminder that Rodrigo Bentancur was forced off through injury in that first half, so we'll have to wait and see how he is. Now Ghana looking to come forward on this left side with Baba Rahman. Cuts it back through to Suleimana, who's weaving his way infield. Partey will try and collect it and keep this chance alive. Uruguay pushing back. They're defending in their numbers. They want to hold on to this 2-0 lead. We've played 66 minutes of this game. There's still plenty of time to go. As it stands, though, Uruguay going through to the last 16. Will the nerves start kicking in yet?
They could do. There's no signs of it for me. I can't actually see it yet. I think they look comfortable where they are. I think they're a team that don't feel as if they'll lose 2 goals that often, particularly in just one half. But you just, as I say, you never know. They've also got the fact that they've got Cavani and Nunes up the field just now. What an outlet that is. If you're in trouble, just launch it towards those two, who A, are pretty good in the air, but B, will fight and chase and challenge for everything. It's an old school partnership, isn't it? You know, the 2 big strikers up there just now. We'll see if they use them in that way.
Well, it's a free kick to Uruguay inside their own half, just in front of that technical area where the Ghana manager Otto Addo has been up and out of his seat pretty much the whole time. He's running down the edge of the area as well plenty of times. He's been very lively trying to get the messages across. Interestingly enough, actually, he still has another job as well, which is something that they'll have to deal with, the fact that he's also Borussia Dortmund's talent manager. He lives in Germany, but he's also the manager of Ghana, so has to juggle 2 jobs. Does that make any impact on being an international coach, the fact that you have your interests are in 2 different places?
I'm actually slightly surprised it doesn't happen more often, and some managers done it over the years, and certainly I know that Sir Alex Ferguson did it. The Scotland manager as well, he was domestic manager for a period of time, so it's definitely doable.
Baba Rahman down this left side, plays it to Suleimana, but he gets it nicked away from him by Varela, so it will be a throw-in as they edge closer and closer to goal Ghana. Baba Rahman plays it into Suleimana, and it's away by Jimenez, and it will be a corner kick to Ghana on this near side. Again,
very good willingness to make the runs. That was not happening in the first half. It's always the wide players, they've come on, they've been up for it. You can hear the Ghana fans behind there saying, right, okay, time to turn it on now, lads. And if they could just get a goal.
Baba Rahman with a delivery on this left side, looking to get it to that far post. Not quite cleared away, right in front of goal. Thomas Partey was ready to pounce, couldn't quite get there, didn't get the connection that he wanted to it, and it was comfortably into the hands of the Uruguayan goalkeeper.
Yeah, just a little bit of update why Luis Suarez was booked beforehand. It wasn't saying anything. Apparently he was kicking the ball away. I couldn't see that, I have to say. It was a difficult one to see, but the referees spotted it. And the Nunes one, because remember back at the penalty kick, everyone was all over, absolutely all over the Ghana players and the referee. Well, I think they were trying to destroy the penalty spot. We've seen that one before, haven't they? So that's why Nunes got his yellow card, I think. Well, so I'm informed anyway.
That's what social media is saying. So Cavani for Uruguay, tries to get the ball forward, but Ghana are able to clear that away. De Rasquiata's coming in, as is De La Cruz too. On this left side, it will be chased down quickly by Oliveira on that left side and picked up in the end. Well worked by Oliveira to try and get that back in, but Thomas Partey with a big header to get it away. Shot comes in first time. Was a brilliant effort. I think it was Valverde who came in.
It was Valverde. Absolutely brilliant technique. I mean, it's one of those classic ones you think, oh, don't shoot for there. You've no way. Wow, great hit. Keeper does really well. Bounces right in front of him. Sees it very, very late.
Uruguay again on this left side, looking to cut in field again and trying to get the shot away. This time wasn't as good from Federico Valverde, as he sees his shot sky up into the stands, and he puts his hands to his head just to say he was a little bit disappointed with that, because it was a wasted opportunity that they started to create.
Well, as good as the technique was in the last one, that was bad. It was awful. I mean, so much so that he had looked down for the bobble. You know, that old one. We've all used that one before.
Well, Uruguay have not lost their final match of a World Cup group stage since a 3-0 defeat against Sweden. That was back in 1974. They're on their way to another victory. They're leading 2-0, 70 minutes on the clock. As it stands, they're going through to the last 16. What a difference the table would make. Kudus, though, for Ghana, weaving his way inside. Kudus takes the shot on, but his shot on the edge of the area is lifted into the stands, where the majority of the Ghanaian fans are waiting.
When Kudus gets on the ball, you know, he's got a little bit more quality. He's certainly got the ability to go by players. We know he's got pace as well, and he's looked probably the liveliest over the piece for the Ghanaian side, but it's been too sporadic. He's not been able to do it often enough. That one, a wee bit unlucky, and they've nearly closed down there. Rushet was a bit lucky there.
Rushet was just taking his time on the ball, but it was Iñaki Williams who was trying to put the pressure on. We've seen that happen before, where the goalkeepers have taken too long, and Ghana have been able to try and make the most of it. Right, a couple more changes happening for Ghana in this second half. Daniel Kofi Sherry is coming on, as is Antoine Semenyo. So Iñaki Williams, I think, is one of the ones that is coming off, and he'll have to wait to see the board for the next player. Abdul Samid is the other player to make way. So 2 changes for Ghana.
Yeah, the board actually didn't come on there. That's why everyone was a little bit confused. But yeah, you have to make the changes at this point in time. Anything you can possibly do to try and change it at the moment, because in simple terms, Ghana, you're going out of the World Cup, and I don't know if over the piece and over this 90 minutes you've not given enough, but you've just got these 20 or so minutes, or however long we've got left now with the extra time that's going to be added, to just get yourself back, give yourself some sort of foothold.
72 minutes on the clock. Ghana still trail 2-0 against Uruguay. The ball is with Baba Rahman on this left side, puts it infield to Cherry, who's just come on as the second half substitute for Ghana. They've made a couple of changes already as they look to inspire a comeback, but that ball that was making his way infield was cut short by Uruguay, who can start driving forward now with Vecino. Has to be forced back to play it to his centre-back, Cortez. Onto this left side to find De Rasquiata. Being put off, though, by Seydou, who's putting him under a little bit of pressure. Uruguay at the back.
Right now, the Uruguayans have finally resorted to type. They've got a back 3 now. I expected that quite a long time ago, but it's happened now. Centre midfield just drops in when they lose the ball, and you know that makes perfect sense just now. Just be a very, very difficult group to break through.
De La Cruz on the right side, looking to play it through to Edison Cavani. Darwin Nunez is also there to try and hold up to it, but Thomas Partey able to steal that ball away and play it infield, looking towards Bukhari, who was waiting on that right side, but he couldn't quite get there, and the ball goes out for a throw-in just past the halfway line for Uruguay, who are looking to try and extend their lead to 3 goals and really make this a comfortable win for them to try and see them into the last 16. Ghana know they need to score some goals if they want any hope of extending their trip here in Qatar. It will be huge disappointment for them coming into this one. They were second in the group. They were picking up a big victory against South Korea, and they had a good performance as well against Portugal.
Yeah, and it's strange to say, Uruguay were so underwhelming, absolutely underwhelming for the first part of the tournament there. They weren't scoring goals, they weren't creating that many chances as well, even though they've got good quality players, particularly up front. But just the way that they've actually gone to a much more positive attitude from the start of this game, and it lifts players. Players love that. Manager say to you, right, go out there and go and win the game. What a lovely lift that gives to you, because the manager then believes in you.
Uruguay with the ball, looking to come in on the attack. It wasn't the best ball though from Darwin Nunez infield to try and play it out to that right hand side where Nicolas de la Cruz was waiting for it. So Ghana were able to regain their control with Thomas Partey in midfield. Plays it to his defender Daniel Amati, across to Seydou. This looks a little bit more comfortable for Ghana as they try and get out of this Uruguayan press. They've done well. They've got a little bit of space now on the left side with Baba Rahman, who's got space to run into. Sherry now, the number 8 for Ghana, plays it to the left-hand side to find Suleimana, who's doing a little bit of trickery to try and get that away from Varela, but a big boot from Varela to take it away will be a corner kick.
And once again, he knows there's a lot of pace up against him there, and right behind him, Jimenez, right over, standing right beside him. If you get by the fullback, I'll be standing there waiting for you. So the defending's been good so far, but corner kick.
Well, the sea of red, yellow and green have got up off their feet for this corner. Wasn't the best one, but it lands onto that right-hand side. Back out into the penalty area it goes, but Uruguay able to just steal that ball away. Cavani looking to play it forward again. Picked up by Nunez on this left side. He's got space to run into. He's got to go up against Seydou, who's trying to put the pressure on and eventually does put the challenge in. Takes Nunez out in the process, but it will just be a goal kick to Ghana.
Well, the referee's not buying that one at all there. Nunez didn't fancy the run against a player he knows is probably a little bit quicker than him, and he just put it by, looked for a free kick, was never getting that one.
Just so the official attendance inside this stadium, 43,443 inside the Al Janoub Stadium here in Doha. Ghana looking to come forward again. It was a cross that came in from Baba Rahman, found its way all the way onto the right-hand side to Bakari. Looks to play it in again, but it was a poor ball, and Uruguay able to steal the ball away. Now across it goes to Cavani, left-hand side. Little challenge from the Ghana defender. Uruguay come forward, or I think they've spotted the goalkeeper off his line. Valverde had a go.
Yeah, he was quite far off his now, I'll grant you that, but from the angle, it's not just the fact it was in his own half, but from the angle as well. Sometimes when a player does that, you think, wow, what great imagination. And other times you think, well, he fancies a rest. I think it may have been the latter in that one. He was just desperate to get it away, and he managed to get that ball away. Give his team a little bit of time to get their shape back in the middle. I like what the Uruguayans are doing just now. Pacino's come on and he's playing centre midfield. He's got 5 on just now, and what he's doing, he's playing centre midfield, but when he has to drop back in between his two centre halves to make it very difficult to stop, he's done it really well. It's clever play, and it's making it much harder for the Ghanaians to actually create anything clear cut.
Uruguay still leading 2-0, 77 minutes on the clock, so Ghana need to find a response if they want to carry on their hopes of World Cup glory, and they need to find it quick because time is running out. Salisu at the back plays it across to Baba Rahman on the left side. Now Suleimana, who's trying to weave his way past Varela, who's been a difficult player to play against. He's had a good game. Suleimana holds on to the ball though, does really well onto this left hand side, cuts it into the penalty area, just gets Varela onto the floor, cuts the cross in, and he was looking at the far side for Bakari, who was trying to leap up above everyone else, couldn't quite get there, and Uruguay able to clear. Yeah, but I mean, the skills were really good there out in the left wing. Problem is, because he'd beaten the player about 5 or 6 times, how dare I talk about that, by the time he puts it back in, everyone's marked, and there's no way you can get any run on the ball at all. So although good skill, he's got to get it in a wee bit quicker than that. Ball's found its way all the way through, opportunity, and it's been missed by Antoine Semenyo, who was right in front of goal. The faces of the Ghana fans can't quite believe it, because that looked like it could have been a sitter. and he's missed it. Semenyo, who came on as a substitute, couldn't quite get the angles right to take it past Rochette.
Yeah, it was on the left-hand side on his left foot. He'd probably not even look to go at any point. You just put it beyond the goalkeeper and hope that it nestles in that back line, and it, sadly for him, it didn't nestle in that back post. So their chance, and there've not been that many chances. That's another chance that's gone.
Well, we're just seeing the some shots of the Ghanaian fans as that chance was missed by the young 22-year-old forward Antoine Semenyo. Double substitution now for Uruguay. So the goal scorer for the 2 goals, Georgian Derascaeta, has been replaced, as has Edinson Cavani too.
I'll try to see, but
Gomez and Canobio are the 2 players that have come on for Uruguay.
yeah, just try to see this game out. If they pose, I think it was Nunez that come off actually instead of Cavani. They do look very similar, I have to say. I always get them mixed up.
In my head I said Nunez. What actually came out my mouth was Cavani. Don't know how that happened. I absolutely knew it was Nunez. Anyway, Nunez is off. Edinson Cavani is definitely still on. He, of course, came on in place of Luis Suarez. So, Agustin Canobio has come on to make his first appearance in this World Cup, whilst Maxi Gomez, the second player to come on in that couple of changes. So 10 minutes to go until we find out how much additional time will be coming through. Ghana still knocking at the door. They're looking to inspire a comeback. They're 2-0 down against Uruguay. As it stands, Ghana are out of the World Cup. They've nicked the ball back. Babarahman doing well. Shot comes in from Kudus on the edge of the penalty area. I think Rochette got a touch to it to take it away, and it will be a corner kick.
Yeah, good spot. It's exactly what happened there. He's got fingertips to it. That's another good chance there. That one is going right into the corner. He's just got fingertips, and that fingertip is actually taking it onto the post.
Corner comes in on that near side, headed straight out, and a cross will be left for a throw-in. Uruguay defending for their lives now. Plenty of changes from both sides, so fresher legs coming on. Uruguay, of course, wanting to defend and hold on to this big 2-0 lead. We're just seeing that replay of that Kudus strike. It was a really decent hit actually from him, but 2 strong hands from the Uruguayan goalkeeper to send it away. So Ghana with a throw-in, and they will try and act like this will be a corner kick because they're ready to take a really long one. All of the players inside the penalty area. Uruguay have everyone defending this. Got all the way through, but bundled through and headed out by Uruguay. Not far enough though, and Suleimana was able to hold on to it. Suleimana across to Kudus, who just waits his turn to try and get away from the 3 Uruguayan players that are surrounding him. Canobio got the ball right to his chest to block that shot from coming into the penalty area. They've got themselves a throw in now, Ghana. Kudus takes it and finds Sherry. Back across it goes to a Martin. Now Sherry again looking to play it into the penalty area for Bukhari, who was waiting on that right side, right in front of goal, but Rochette, the goalkeeper for Uruguay, right to it. And you can see disappointed, upset faces from Ghana. There's one fan actually saying to the camera he still thinks it's going to be 3-2. Well, that would be pretty incredible because we've got 83 minutes on the clock, 7 minutes to go until we reach the 90, and it's Ghana who are trailing by 2-0 against Uruguay.
Well, apart from the penalty kick, I would say those last 2 chances they had in the last few minutes are probably the best chances that they've had in the game so far. They have lifted it, but they're paying the penalty, they're paying the price, as it were, for not starting off the way they should have, the way I expected them to start off. It was almost as if they were going to try and grow into the game, and by the time they actually got themselves going and playing somewhere close to the best of their ability, half of the game was gone and they were 2-0 down. However, they are creating half chances just now.
De La Cruz has the ball to his feet for Uruguay, but he's being put off by a couple of the Ghana players. Partey was one of them, but the ball has found its way back to Varela on that right side. Challenge coming in from Babarahman, so will be a free kick to Uruguay right in front of that Uruguay bench, who are quite happy just to take their time with this, Pat.
Yeah, but do you know what? There's been times in the past and you've watched Uruguay playing and you think, oh, well, you're wasting every second and you're ruining the game and you're killing time. It's not really been like that. They've slowed it down a little bit, but often they've slowed it down when they're on the ball. They've held the ball well. And I have to be honest, I've been very, very impressed with them today. I think they played really well, and generally the attitudes have been extremely good.
Salisu got the ball back and played it into Thomas Partey. Through to the centre circle where Kudus was waiting for it in field, but the ball is nicked away from him by Vecino, and Uruguay will try and carry this ball over the halfway line with De La Cruz, who's coming forward, but it was a poor pass, really. Right, an opportunity to quickly go over to Aaron Paul, see what the latest is. Last time we heard it was Portugal 1, South Korea 1. What's the latest, Aaron?
South Korea have scored. South Korea 2, Portugal 1, and what a big goal this is in this Group H, and it's been scored by the South Korea it looks like number 9, Cho, who has scored the goal for South Korea. Huge goal. He was put through on goal and just slotted past Diogo Costa in the Portugal. Now South Korea turning defence into attack, blistering counter-attack down the right-hand side, and as things stand, it'll be fascinating to see what happens in Group H, because South Korea have taken a late lead here. South Korea 2, Portugal 1.
Well, what that means is that Uruguay will be heading out of the World Cup. They've just shown the Group H table here in the stadium, and all of the Uruguayan fans have got their hands to their heads. Luis Suarez looks like he's about to cry. He's put his head into his shirt because that goal from South Korea means that Uruguay are out of the World Cup as it stands.
It's equal on points, it's equal on goal difference. So quite simply, Uruguay, you've got to score a goal. You've got to score a goal now. You've got to go and throw players forward. All this playing out the game now, enjoying your 2-0 win, means nothing. You must score another goal, and they've taken a lot of their most exciting players off because they just wanted to see this game out, and it's working against them. We have got a few mad minutes left. Is Ghana going to attack?
It is going to be a crazy couple of minutes because Suleimana was coming all the way in on the left side, and it was a big challenge from Cortez to take him out just as he was arriving into the penalty area on this left-hand side, just on the corner side of the penalty area, and it will be a free kick to Ghana.
It's absolutely incredible. You know, we knew it was eventually going to go down to all those things, such as, you know, head-to-heads, possibly yellow cards, but the fact that they're exactly the same, you know, goal scored is obviously a difference as well, but right now, goal difference is exactly the same. Exactly the same.
Everything is the same. Darwin Nunez, I don't know if he's... Wow. They look really upset, all of the Uruguayan players. There's still time to play in this game. Uruguay, a reminder, are winning 2-0. There are still 3 minutes to go until we reach the 90-minute mark, but this is going to be a nervous couple of minutes for Uruguay. So free kick taken by Sherry, and it was a deep delivery. Couldn't quite reach anyone in the penalty area for Ghana. Salisu was making his way in, but a quick kick away from Rochette now. And forward it goes to Uruguay. They need more. They need another goal. Uruguay are beating Ghana 2-0. Luis Suarez can't look. The camera keeps panning to him. His face is an absolute picture, as is the rest of the Uruguayan fans. This is heartbreaking for them, who have been enjoying this game. They've been controlling the game. And what's happened in the other game is South Korea have taken the lead against Portugal. Ghana coming forward now as well. Bukhari on this right side plays it infield again. They're looking to create an opportunity themselves. Babarahman on this left-hand side couldn't quite pick out the pass to Kudus, and Uruguay can come forward now with Canobio on this right side. He's looking to play it to an option. It's Cavani, right side across to the left-hand side. Now Valverde driving at this Ghana defence. Onto the left-hand side it goes. They're looking for an opportunity. In it goes. The header's there! And incredibly, Cavani can't convert. It's a stupendous save from Ati Zigi, but the flag is up anyway, so it wouldn't count it.
Oh, well, I mean, he gets up really high there. Keeper dies, clips over the bar. I don't know if he must be injured there, because there's no point in him wasting any time. That's not doing his team any good there. But Cavani, he has just strayed on offside there. But that's actually one of the best saves you'll see in the World Cup there, even though in the end it was offside. But I think it's the angle in which the goalkeeper's fell. He's actually fell almost in his neck as he's went back. So, you know, really agile save there, but the angle has really hurt him there. So we're going to get a lot of extra time added to this game. This is going to be tense all the way up to the end. What it's given the Uruguayans a chance to understand is that the manager and the people inside, they'll be able to go onto the players and say, look, we need more now. We absolutely need more now. We're not going through. We're in third place. But if you score another goal, our goal difference will be better. And we'll see if that gets across, because they look gutted. They look as if they've given up, don't they? And they shouldn't give up now.
No, there's still time to play. We will be going into the 90 minutes very, very shortly.
Well, they're booing because they've just shown a picture of Luis Suarez almost in tears. And the Ghana fans are enjoying that. I don't know why. Why would they be enjoying Luis Suarez being in tears? I think that goes back a few years.
So the Uruguayan fans, nervous faces amongst all of them. They're checking their phones frantically to see what's happening in the other Group H match, because as it stands, South Korea, who are beating Portugal, are going through second place. We're into 8 minutes of additional time. Uruguay need to score another goal.
It's great though, because everyone's looking up, everyone around us is looking up all the group things, and all the group things, they don't give you enough detail. You don't give goals for, goals against, yellow cards. They don't give you enough of that. All they give you is, goal difference, which is exactly the same. Points, exactly the same. But I think what the Uruguayans need to know now is, they do know now, is they need to get another goal.
And here they come forward now on this left-hand side. Uruguay plays it through to Edison Cavani, who was waiting to cross that ball in. Onto the right-hand side it goes. The header's looping forward and it's kicked away, or headed away by Salisu. Back in it goes, though, to Uruguay as they try and attack again. This Ghana defence. It's going to be a hectic couple of minutes. We're into 8 minutes of additional time. Let's get the full-time score. It's a confirmed score now. Aaron Paul, what's it finished?
Full-time here, South Korea 2, Portugal 1. A cracking goal late on by Hwang Hee-chan, set up by Son Heung-min on the counter-attack. Could see South Korea put through. There's tears in the eyes of Son and the rest of the South Korea players. It's going to be a tense few minutes. South Korea 2, Portugal 1.
Well, it's going to be a tense few minutes for South Korea, because at the moment Ghana are charging forward on this right side with Bukhari. Cuts it back to Kudus. Forward it goes to Semenyo, and he can't quite find the shot away, Semenyo. And the flag was up anyway, up against the Ghana forward. Uruguay need a goal. That's all they need. They're currently heading out on goals scored. Left-hand side for Uruguay now. Charging forward is Edison Cavani, who goes down in the penalty area. All of the substitutes for Uruguay are off out of their bench, and they're onto the pitch. All of the yellow-orange bibs have absolutely gone furious at the fourth official. Not very many players are actually surrounding the referee, Siebert, but Edison Cavani is still down. Let's have a look at this replay, Pat.
Yeah, I think he runs across the defender and looks for it. Yeah, he slowed down and looks for it. Referee nailed it. Love it. He's got it absolutely right there. No point complaining about it. The disappointing thing is, there's no way Cavani should have stopped there. He should have tried to go in and win the ball instead of looking for a penalty kick. He's missed a chance there. The referee's got that one right. But we have got 4 or 5 minutes worth of complete mayhem here, because both sides are going to have to go and attack. They shouldn't be leaving any defenders back as well, because both teams are going out just now. You think Ghana, it's going to be too much for them. They need 2 goals just now. Whereas you look at Uruguay, 1 goal, just 1 goal, that's all they need. They've got a free kick though, they're going to lump it.
Rochette will take this just behind the halfway line. Forward it goes for Uruguay, into the penalty area now. Ghana are able to defend it away, but it finds its way through to Kanobio on this right side. He looks to place it into the penalty area, but nothing too testing for the goalkeeper, Ati Zigi. Reminder, Ghana still need 2 goals if they want any chance. Uruguay just need a goal. They will do absolutely everything they can to try and do just that. Reminder though, Darwin Nunez is off, Luis Suarez is off, Georgian Deraskieta is off. He scored both of Uruguay's goals in this game. Facundo Pellistri is also off, and no Rodrigo Bentancur either. Left hand side it is for Ghana now as they look to come forward. Baba Rahman picks up, but it's away by Varela. Ball's kept in play though by Baba Rahman, who crosses the ball in to find Kudus. Kudus gets the shot away, but it was a brilliant shot, brilliant block actually in the end by Cortez. Still alive here for Ghana. Into the penalty area it goes, and Uruguay able to clear this away. Now Edison Cavani charging forward. On this right hand side it goes. Uruguay looking to get the shot away. A big palm from Ati Zigi to deny Maxi Gomez.
It's got to do better than that. They've got a 5 against 3 and they don't make the best of it at all.
Uruguay on this left side trying to get the better of Seydou. Valverde was fighting his way to try and hold on to it. We're looking at the replay from Maxi Gomez. It was a low driven hit.
But he's got players in front of him. He's got 5 of them against 3 Ghanaian defenders. And you're hitting a ball from 22, 23, 24 yards. You've got to play it around them. You've got to be better than that. But if you had Luis Suarez on the pitch, you've got the man that you want to get the ball to when there's space in that final third. Decision making was really poor there. You asked me about panicking before. I didn't expect to see it. I'm beginning to see it now for the Uruguayan team.
3 minutes to go until we finish those 8 minutes. Ghana coming in, shot comes in, big save from Rochette to take it away. Canobio for Uruguay will try and travel with this ball down the right hand side, but Ghana are holding on. Kudus on this left hand side. All of the Uruguayan substitutes are into the technical area. They are finding this extremely nerve-wracking because they need one more goal.
They've got an overlap again. They've got 7 players against 4. And they still don't make the best of it. It's been really poor when they've gotten those situations from the Uruguayans. They've had chances.
Well, we're hearing that the South Korea players are on the pitch in their game, still in a huddle, waiting to hear what this full-time score is going to be. They're going to have to hold on 2 more minutes because here's an opportunity for Uruguay as Cavani cuts it across into the face of goal. Cortez was waiting right in front of it on the edge of that 6-yard area and couldn't convert.
The referee's given a goal kick there. And the Uruguayans are arguing that it was never a corner kick. The referee's got that around. They've tried to call him a couple of times in the last 10 or 15 minutes. The referee's nailed it every single time. But they've just not done the best. The Uruguayans, you asked about the panicking. I didn't expect it, and it's going to be too late. Unless they make them, I would say they've probably got one more chance left, if they're lucky.
Time is running out, less than a minute to go for Uruguay, who are heading out as it stands. Despite beating Ghana 2-0, they are heading out. So Ghana want to make themselves another change just to add to the heartbreak for Uruguay. So it will be Fatawi Isahaku who comes on, the young 18-year-old who hasn't made an appearance yet in the World Cup. This will be a big moment for him. So Kudus is off. Mohamed Kudus is replaced by Isahaku, and Uruguay will keep on going forward. There will not be long left now. South Korea still in their huddle waiting to hear this full-time score. Uruguay trying everything. They've got seconds left to go until the full-time whistle. Throw in on the halfway line from Varela. Didn't quite work out. They've got to go again. Varela decides to go back to his goalkeeper, Rochette. Rochette will, of course, try and boot this ball forward to try and get a chance going for Uruguay. Varela on this right-hand side, looking to play it into the penalty area, but it's not the best ball. Edison Cavani will try and get to there, but it's into the hands of Ati Zigi. This looks like it is going to be heartbreak for Uruguay because we are almost up with those 8 minutes of additional time. Uruguay, who have led for the majority of this game 2-0 against Ghana, who are coming on this right-hand side, looking to create one last opportunity for themselves. It's not going to happen, though.
Do you know what you have to say? Well done, Ghana, because they've kept it honest, haven't they? I mean, they're basically out now, but they have fought and they've chased and they've battled and they've done the right thing, which is exactly the way it should be. However, it's still not over because a free kick about, would you say, 30, 35 yards out for the Uruguayans?
Yeah. So, about 10 yards away from the penalty area, right in front of goal, Uruguay have got themselves a free kick. We have played the 8 minutes of additional time. So this, surely, the last opportunity for Uruguay. This, a pressure free kick. Valverde is one of the players who has stood around it. Nicolas de la Cruz is also ready to take it too. Luis Suarez can't even watch. This is a big moment for Uruguay.
Yeah, I mean, it could almost be down to this one kick. We're not 100% sure yet, but there's not going to be much after this. It's probably 3 or 4 yards further out than you'd want it to be, but it's all about getting it up and down over the wall, or maybe just doing something clever. You'd be brave to do that now.
De la Cruz is a player to take it, and it was going on target, but it was comfortably into the hands of Ati Zigi. And that is that. Heartbreak for both Ghana and Uruguay. Uruguay, for the majority of this game, we're into the last 16. The players have dropped down onto the ground. This is no win for either side, despite Uruguay beating Ghana by 2-0.
This is going to kick off, by the way. This is absolutely going to kick off here. The Uruguayans have completely and utterly lost it. They're all in front of the referee. They're close to manhandling the referee. Now, this is totally unacceptable. Screaming in the assistant referee's ear there. That's unacceptable behaviour. I'm not absolutely surprised by it. I mean, huge stresses at this point in time, weren't there? But at that point, you know, they've been ushered off now, the officials who are supposed to go off last, and they've been ushered off because of the fury of the Uruguayans, who should be just as angry with themselves because they never made the best of their opportunities near the end of that game.
Well, good sportsmanship from the Ghana players, who are looking to console the Uruguayan players, because it was joy for them for the majority of this game, Uruguay, because they were already in party mode until they heard that dreaded score from South Korea, who beat Portugal by 2-1. That win for South Korea, sending them through to the last 16. Uruguay